Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fan Cams, round 6. We go down to the Gold Coast by 9 points. 9 points in what was a really close game. And I think it would have been a good game for the neutrals, dare I say it. Close, high contest. I'm speechless at how 6 weeks ago the walls were closing in. And I felt like we'd flatlined, honestly. And now, in 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks, we are a team that fights. There were so many opportunities where we could have absolutely hung the towel up, said this is too hard, too much pressure, too hot, Brownlow medalist getting off the chain. But man, they just dug deep. They dug deep, and I don't know where this belief has come from, because even I started to doubt, oh, here we go. This could be a thrashing, but it wasn't a thrashing. And how many people saw that coming? I think everybody assumed that it was going to be maybe minimum 30-point loss. So look, there is lots to work on. There are some issues that we have with our decision making and execution, no doubt. But I tell you what, they got themselves out of a lot of sticky situations, and my raw reaction is that I'm just super impressed, and maybe because I'm comparing it to the first 4 weeks that was so below what was acceptable for AFL standard, and maybe you can argue that this is the baseline, this is the bare minimum of what's acceptable for an AFL level quality team, but I mean, that's what we've got to play with, right? So that's where we sit. There is the link. Let's unpack it all. Jump in. Join me for a chat. Oh, God. I just saw someone say the word Ridley. Honestly, the game kind of changed and shifted. Our composure as a collective backline completely shifted when he kind of went off in the second quarter. It felt like it was the end of second quarter. I didn't feel like I saw him at all. How are you all feeling? Who did you like? What did you like? VGWG, you're in pain, but you're proud. Yep. I think that's going to be the common theme. GR, we tried, but not good enough. Outclassed. Yeah. I mean, when you got Matty Rowell, I mean, look, I will say, I think he is given an extra couple around the worlds than most people have gotten before they call holding the ball on him. But that aside, he is unbelievable. Andy McGrath tried hard, but you can't. He's a bit like what we're going to face next week with Nick Dacos. Can plan as much as we want for him, put as many players on him to watch him, but at some point they're just exceptional players and they're going to hurt you. And then they've got another one in Christian Petrarca who just looked refreshed, didn't he? Jeremy, what a load of shit taking Edwards off for H. What happened? I was kind of fluttering around, kind of getting this set up. What actually happened, please, with Edwards? Did they show us vision? Did he get a head knock? Too many turnovers. Yeah, it was interesting because Gold Coast being, probably a higher quality side than Melbourne, they didn't really let us play that uncontested game. It's good to see that we had the contest in us, but when we wanted to actually go into that mode and just possess the ball and hit a few targets, they were not letting, as good as some of the midfielders and half forwards were spreading and trying to get space, they were not letting them kind of be free enough to receive a clean ball. So, yeah, interesting, but good signs that we were still able to contest our way through and still gain territory up the ground. Will, good effort, proud. 9 points at their home ground is nothing to be ashamed of. Agreed. Bring on the cold pies next week. It certainly makes for an interesting day next week. When's the last time we've kind of felt like we're a sneaky chance and that pies have kind of, not really there, have lost their aura a little bit? I don't know. I shouldn't get ahead of myself, should I? But hello, Jonathan. Fish, orange, white eyes. What does that mean? Craig, really proud of the boys. Yes, I want to know too. Jay, we played so well. We did, Iman. We did. Coming off travelling to SA, then go up there and lose by less than 10 points is a win in my eyes, minus the 4 points. Agreed. Bloody good effort. That's all you can ask. Love it. Apex. Alan, bloody good effort. Roby got his first goal. Did anybody else not see that celebration coming? How joyful, how wholesome, absolutely wonderful. What a beautiful reaction. Disappointed for the players, never gave up, but she's the holding the ball and incorrect disposal. I mean, in the first quarter, we had a holding the ball run-down tackles from Kako, Durham, and Archie May. Delightful. And that is how we were getting ascendancy through effort and contest and tackling pressure. I think our average tackle over the first 5 rounds was in the 40s. And am I correct in saying it was about 70? In fact, I could answer my own question there, couldn't I, by looking at the stats? But I think it was in the 70s today, and we've averaged around 40. So that is very, very good. I'm very impressed if that's exactly what it was. Why is my computer just choosing not to update? 71, yes. Great signs. Ben, Brad Scott is the right coach all along. Well, I mean, we don't know, but looks like everything's ticking. Hopefully Ridley's just awareness like reader free. Oh, what a great reframe from you, Richard. I would love for this just to be awareness. But I think the terminology that the club used was tightness as opposed to awareness for Ridley. So that makes me feel a bit sad. Say Wicks has earned a contract extension. Okay. I thought he was a bit wasteful with the ball today. But he also did do some nice things. Yeah. If the AFL are going to send a player off using the arc for a head knock out of nowhere, then they need to do it for every head knock. There will be 2 players left on the field. Feels like that, doesn't it? Isaac, Wicker has definitely improved. Loved his game. We ran out of legs in the 4th. No leads, but good effort. Yes. Jarrah, heartbroken, but going up there and challenging the Suns at their ground was beautiful. We'll beat the Pies if we get Nick out of the game. Also, what happened to Ridley? Yeah, calf, unfortunately. Middle of the 3rd, he came off. Ridley? Oh, felt like we didn't have him for a lot of the 2nd. How good was that lookout, Collingwood? Yeah. Yes. Assassin got to be happy with this turnaround. We're competing against some really good sides. I pray Ridley is okay. They took him off precautionary. I don't know. I mean, I hope so, but I'm just reading between the lines of the terminology, and I did not like it at all. No vision showed for Edwards. That's frustrating. That's really frustrating. Oh, you saw it. Edwards went down a bit hard in a marking contest on the wing. Oh, so like head on the ground, Hello, Brett. Hold your hands high. Yes, proud of the effort. Absolutely. Yes, exactly. Spot on, Gareth. 20 to 30 more games into this team, and that would have been an easy dub. Oh, 100%. It's like little moments of just synergy, connection. So there was that. What about that one moment Archie Wicks did in the middle of the ground? I don't remember the Suns' opponent, but he intercepted, stopped the Suns player getting a mark, and then put an immediate shepherd on that Suns player, knowing that Sardis was standing 5 meters away, kind of insinuating through his mind for Sardis to go and collect the ball that I've got the shepherd here, and Sardis was just flat-footed ball watching. Now, I feel like in a couple, 10 more, 20 more games together, that's just like telepathic kind of exchange happening between them, and they know exactly what, Sardis knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah, so there were a few moments like that, but you're right. A few more games into this group. You didn't see anything happen, Noel, to Tom Edwards. Yeah. Hello, Gwenda. I thought Petrarca was more damaging than Rao. Rao gets away with so much. Edwards look okay to me. Ridley more precautionary. I'm happy to go with what you're saying. Let's maybe speak it into existence, but I'm not convinced. Greg, happy with that effort. Yeah. A loss. Great effort by the boys. Loving this. Loving the vibes. Xavier, sucks to lose. It was a cracking game. We just kept coming. Yeah. So many times where I was, probably particularly in the 3rd when they got, I think was that their greatest lead, about 20 points. I felt like, oh boy, we're going in our shells here. We're dropping the head. But credit to the leaders. I thought Langford was unbelievable behind the ball. He really, between him and Ridley, we looked rock solid back there. Honestly, I mean, we'll talk about Parrish in a second, who had an absolute probably best on for mine. Would anybody disagree? Is anybody else kind of fighting for that best on? Hello, Chris. Starting to get really concerned about Caddy's lack of development. Don't underestimate how unbelievable Sam Collins is as a defender. He does not give you many looks at all. I don't know if the instruction was to Caddy to stay closer to goal and keep Collins closer to goal so he couldn't impact Edwards and May, who were the ones who got on, a couple of the goals. But, I mean, in the last quarter, I think Caddy did make his way up the ground. But, yeah, Collins is a very, very good defender, and one of them was going to get him. So Caddy's coming along beautifully. I don't think you need to be concerned about that. He's still learning. He's still got to up his craft, and he's still got to make he still runs under the ball a little bit, mistimes his leads, but the growth is there. Pies don't have a forward line, so it's possible a good showing on the cards. Yeah, but they just find a way. That's what terrifies me. Like, I know Carlton are not, playing their best football, but they just find a way. And I mean, Nick Dacos has a lot to do with that, but you just can never count them out, I reckon. I didn't see it. I don't think there was a moment. I think he just took himself off and said, I'm got some calf tightness. And unfortunately, he would know. He'd be very familiar with when something's tight. God, my heart breaks for him. He has done so much work. He and Matt Innes have done so much work. This is just not by, not being, committed to rehab and your body. He is so committed, and the club are so committed. Essendon played well, some green shoots. Yeah, well, agree, Peter. I'm going to Anzac Day from Perth next week. Love it, Mark. Bring it on. Yes. Anybody else travelling down for the game? I can't wait to get there. It's always a wonderful occasion. Katie was a bit quiet. He needs to develop not the weapon he can be yet. Yeah. I mean, keep in mind also, teams are going to, the better he gets, the more signs he shows, the more time opposition are going to put into him. So, he's not going to get off the chain every single game. He's still developing. But if he doesn't, then May and Edwards technically should. And they both had a lot of impact today. All right, let's have a chit chat. Hello, Noel.
G'day. How are we?
Everybody missed you last week. How was your trip to Sydney?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I watched the game on the 80 Cologne because my hotel room didn't have Foxtel. How dumb they are, but anyway. I still don't know how to chat to you on the mobile phone, so
it's okay. I imagine that you were having some technical difficulties, but you're here this week.
Yeah, and I was walking around a fair bit. I walked a fair bit of Sydney, so that was pretty good. But they were great. The Mighty Chisholm, they were fantastic. It was a great live show, and we met a lot of the fans. We marched from the pub to the Opera House in our full gear, so it was pretty fun. But so great win last week, and I think there's a couple of goals today were kicked from the grandstand, weren't there? From Gold Coast, they were kicking them out of their arse.
Yeah, they did miss a few. They were missing quite a lot of goals.
Nearly every free kick they got, they missed, which was nice to see. The umpires tried their best, couldn't get them across the line that way. But they were kicking. Gresham's had a snap from the boundary line. It doesn't go through. Yeah, they're kicking a goal from the hot dog stand, Yeah. So you sort of know you're going to lose when sides are doing that. But look, we can say happy loss because we were a four-quarter effort. Blackiston needs a lot of credit. I know there's a few websites that think he's not up to it. There's a few YouTube channels that don't think he's up for it. But he had a job to do. I thought he did a pretty good job. He had to run around with Andrews for a while.
Yep.
Okay, his disposal isn't great, but then he's a ruckman. He's not meant to have great disposal, but he took some intercept marks, and he played. I thought he played a pretty good game. Langford was good.
Yep.
I don't think we had too many bad players. A couple of bad disposals.
Yeah.
Looking at the VFL, Perkins had 26 disposals. 20 of those were handballs. So maybe he was given a role to be a link up, and maybe that was the job that he had to do in the midfield. But
I thought they'd send him to more centre bounces, but they didn't. They really kept him kind of half forward for a lot of the game.
Yeah, I think he was trying to play that linking role. Him and Golfy. Johnson and Ewan were by far the best two. Those guys are not VFL players, they're AFL players.
Yeah, they're a class above, aren't they?
Yeah, Ewan's not known for his goal kicking. He missed a couple of shots, but geez, yeah, he goes at it hard. He's what you want to see, isn't he? Really?
Yeah.
And Johnson, I think is unlucky. I think Johnson's a bit unlucky not to be in that side.
I think he's just being kept out by more experience and aggression, and also in kind of Pryor, and then Farrow as well.
Yeah, well, maybe that's had a role for El Hooley to get a game.
How'd you see his game?
Well, I kicked the first goal. It was nice, wasn't it?
Nice off the ground.
And he did some nice things, but yeah, he fades in and out of games. So I think that's one of his problems at the moment. He does seem to fade in and out, but he did some very nice things. I'm not sold on Roby yet. I know everyone's on about him. I think I'm not sold on him yet. But then he's only 2 games in, so we'll see how he goes. But
yeah, I think he's naturally a little bit tentative in some contests. He kind of sits back a little bit, but I think he's still just getting used to the tempo of AFL football.
Yeah, the pace of the game. But he certainly knows how to tackle. He's certainly shown some signs there.
I love that he tackles to hurt. I just love it.
That first quarter of the tackling, I think there was 14 tackles, 1 holding the ball, decision made. So don't tackle them. Don't bother. Just take the game. Just take that out of the game, because for some reason 14 tackles, 1 holding the ball, decision made. Yeah, what's the point of tackling then? Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of. We did have the 3 rundown tackles. They were all paid.
Yeah, from 14. It's not bad. It's not a bad effort.
Yeah.
3 free kicks from 14 tackles. That first quarter, they came out all guns blazing, didn't they? They was the tackling. But you couldn't keep that up.
Yeah. What did you think of the job that? Well, as I said earlier, you can't keep Matty Rao down. But who do you think had more impact, Rao or Petrarca?
I think Rao had a little bit more impact.
Yeah.
Petrarca's a finisher. Petrarca finishes the work, so he's probably noticed a little bit more.
Yeah.
But Rao's at the in and under, and I still think McGrath did a pretty good job on him.
I just think, imagine someone wasn't watching him, how much damage you could have done. So
exactly,
it would have been double the amount had McGrath not. That's what I think sometimes.
What did Scott say about the performance last week? That he blunted Pickett. So I think he did the same with Rao. I think he blunted him, his influence a little bit. Now, Mackay cops heaps. I don't think Mackay had a bad game. I thought he played pretty well last week too. But you have a look at their forward line. I think we're a good chance next week. Collingwood don't have much of a forward line. So if we can keep those boys together, they don't have a big forward line. Dacos won that game from last night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they've got McStay, who's so sort of forward. There's no Mason Cox there now. There's no Myercheck. So their forward line's not as potent as it was. So I think we're a fair chance if we can put the sort of. But again, stitched by the AFL, 2 back-to-back interstate games. The last 4 years we've had back-to-back interstate games, and a 5-day break compared to Collingwood's 6-day break. So again, stiff by the AFL as per usual.
Well, as I like to say, if we're going to be a good team, we've got to fight through the circumstances and the conditions and the umpires, and you got to win anyway, because that's what good teams do. So better we measure ourselves against very, high standards, because that's how you get to the ceiling, in my opinion.
Yeah,
anyway.
But then you don't get the luxuries that Geelong and the Bulldogs and Hawthorn get from being looked after as often as they do. So, which is why they're on top of the ladder and we're still down the bottom somewhere. Because it's all well and good to say yes, you've got to play to the conditions, but it doesn't help when the conditions don't favour you all of the time consistently. Because they do it to us. Collingwood are bitching about the draw. You wouldn't even travel for the first round, opening round. Stop bitching about the draw. You've got the best draw in the world. You played the MCG more than anyone else. And they're talking about the draw. Yeah.
They're certainly not a team who can complain about being, hard done by Collingwood. Oh, definitely not. They are the last, in fact, in terms of the ladder of who can complain. They are on the bottom. Yeah.
Now, I know probably only Carlton's probably floating around, but what do you think of the Holland thing?
Oh, awful. Yeah, awful. It's triggered me. I feel sick to my stomach about it, and I keep refreshing kind of social media just to make sure that somebody's reporting that he's being watched and he's okay, because that's all that really fucking matters to me. I'm bemused by the negligence of Carlton but mainly his teammates. I don't know how you can be in such close vicinity to your teammates like football clubs are in the locker rooms at halftime. You are in a circle of your line, in a circle, and not one player could sense that he was not right. Not one player, not one teammate could pick up that he was not acting himself, that he was a bit erratic, that he was a bit manic.
Maybe he's like that all the time, and that's why they just thought it was normal. Because he's had substance issue problems in the past. So maybe deep down they thought, well, maybe that's what he's like all the time. We don't know. We don't know because we're not behind, we're not in the club. But maybe that's the reason. But the doctors should have been jumping on that. You would have thought the medical staff would have been jumping on, there's something not right with this boy. We should take a look at him. And he's sitting on the ground staring. I don't know if you've ever seen the Big Men Fly, the movie, the football movie, where they hire this kid to play, and he's so high on drugs he's watching a seagull instead of taking a mark.
Okay, Atush has confirmed that he's not like that all the time, and that's my take too. There was visibly something not right, and I don't know. I know it's unlikely.
I've said before, players are stupid. They just follow what they're told, and this is your locker, this is your bus, this is where you get changed. They don't think about anything else because they're thinking about what they're going to do in the football field. So maybe they're just not alert. I don't know. But
I don't know. I reckon that's a bit of a cop-out, to be quite honest. He's supposed to be, you spend 1 million hours with these guys. Like, their temperament, their intricacies of their personalities, their idiosyncrasies. And so I'm most disappointed. Yes, the doctors and coaches, but I'm more disappointed in the players, the leaders especially. I would feel sick. I would be, if this happened at Essendon, you guys would hear me going so hard at the players for not knowing that one of your fellow.
If it happened in Essendon, they'd be making up stories about him being a drug addict, because they just want to bring all that shit back from 5 years ago. But it's not good. But anyway, back to the Mighty Bombers. I thought we were pretty. Look, you don't mind losing if you've shown the effort. If you get done by 90 points, you're pissed off, you're disappointed. But this was, we had our chances. They had their chances to put us away. They probably should have beaten us by 7 or 8 goals, all the chances they had, particularly in the third quarter when they, I think it was second quarter when they banged a few points in when there should have been goals. So, and the fact that 2 or 3 times they got away from us and we came back, which was good signs. It shows that the boys are, not throwing in the towel. We're not giving up like I think we suspected we might have done earlier in the year. So, and the
Agreed.
game plan seems to be gelling now. They understand that when to slow the game down, when to speed it up. It's just
and even just to fight, I just liked our response on turnover as well. We were really spreading hard and running hard, and it wasn't perfect. We didn't nail the overlap handballs. Some of them were floaty. Coming back to that Tom Mitchell footage that I showed you all a few weeks back shows you how important the quality of a handball is. Because if it's too floaty, it only takes 1 second to invite more pressure. They have to be near perfect, or else you're just putting a teammate under pressure and you're handing responsibility and you're handing over the ball. So I think we really need to obviously get better at that, and our skills let us down a little bit. But I was impressed with the response on turnover.
Yeah, I mean, and the running sort of game that sometimes we're not so good at, but we had 2 or 3 blokes running in, following up, backing up. Okay,
yeah. We got numbers.
We got numbers back, which we haven't been doing much lately. So that was a good sign. I like McGrath in the middle because he can lead them. He can use the ball well. He doesn't overhandball when he's in the middle. He seems to weigh things up. Merritt's been playing great. Parrish has had a great game. That's 2 games in a row now, where I even saw Parrish tackle and chase and smother and do things.
He had unbelievable numbers. But like, pleasingly, it was the defensive. Yeah, he had 5 tackles himself. Yeah. But 10 inside 50s, and I'm trying to look for and 11 clearances. He had a great game, a really great game.
Sardis did some nice things as well. He used the ball pretty well overall, I thought.
Oh my gosh, that kick to Kako! That's probably my favourite kick of the entire season. Beautiful, silky.
I was disappointed on that one that in the last quarter, that little fumble by Cordwell, because that was a beautiful setup. I think it was Roby that got it to him. And beautiful setup for Caldwell to run into an open goal. And just that little fumble, just enough to put you off. But little things like that, you can correct that. You can fix that.
Yes.
But yeah, look, there's some signs there. I don't think we were thinking that 2 or 3 weeks ago. So there's some signs there now. How do you get back into that side? How does Ewan, Johnson, any of these boys get into that side?
I don't know who said it in the chat. Sorry, I can't give you credit because I'd have to scroll all the way back up. But somebody said, Johnson will come in for Ridley, and that seems the most obvious switch to me.
Someone
I'm devastated. But also Johnson will play. Did he play? No, he didn't play Anzac Day last year. Surely not. He'll play his first Anzac Day. We need to get Jono his first win, because the second he went out of the team last week, the team got a win. So Jono needs his first win. Hopefully it is last week.
Yeah, I think someone mentioned Jerine should get a game. He absolutely got monstered by Ugle-Hagan.
Yeah.
And he was never moved off him. So it was an interesting coaching move to teach him how to play on an AFL quality forward, because he never got moved off him. He showed some signs late, and he did some nice things in the game, but Ugle-Hagan sort of ran him around a bit and out-muscled him a few times. That other big, and their big ruckman was used as well for them.
Huge. Moyle, I think it's Moyle. Yeah. Sam, you could be right, actually. Pryor probably comes back in for Ridley. Yeah, you're right. Which is not I wouldn't be against that also. I just am a little bit committed to getting Zach Johnson his first win now.
But I mean, I watched, the VFL game. There's some signs there. A couple of kids that look like they might be okay. But Brian's not ready yet. I thought he got well beaten in the ruck. He didn't have a big
He didn't have a good game. Yeah.
He didn't have I don't think the bye works for him. He played well, give him another game straight away. You get a bye and you get the week off.
Well, no, he did play. He did play in the club's intra-club, so he did get a little hit out. Yeah,
but that's not the same as playing in a proper VFL sort of game against quality opposition stuff. Yeah. And he was playing against a guy who has played against at AFL level as well, because both of them played against each other. I think it was last year or the year before. But But yeah,
Hey, Noel.
there's signs.
Yeah, there is. If you want to hang around and come on as you usually do when the chaos ensues, hang around. But we'll get on to some other people. But hang around if you want to jump on later. All right.
Yeah, have you tried the biscuits yet?
I did. Didn't you watch the? I'm a bit upset to hear that you didn't watch the replay of the fan cams last week because I did try them.
I haven't caught up on all that yet. I'm catching up on Taskmaster and various other shows I missed while I was away.
Well, that's a little rude. No, I'm kidding. Yes, I did try them. I'll tell you about it later. All right.
I'll watch the replay of that while so I don't have to watch Hawthorn. That's a good idea.
Okay, fair enough. All right. I'll
So
talk to you later.
You want me to pop on later?
If you like, no pressure.
Yeah, we might get into cakes this time instead of biscuits, huh?
Yeah, possibly. All right, now.
Good effort. Let's go.
Bye. Hey, yeah, it's a good call. Forgot about Pryor. What happened to our Hooley? Why? Someone update me on Al Hooley. What did I say? Telepathic. Thank you, Lou. Sheesh. Tightness, not awareness, unfortunately. Ouch. That hurts my heart still. John, look at how Ethan Reid and Jed Walter started to dominate once Ridley got injured. That's how important he is to our system. Yeah, agreed. Hard to keep him out. Bernie, Newen had a sensational game. Well, I would suggest this is not by the, going off the the dictionary, but I would suggest that tightness he actually felt like a twinge or not pain, but a twinge. Awareness is, that maybe didn't feel right. Is there a difference in what I just said? I don't know. You decide. But I trust that Ridley knows the difference. That's the sad part. Bomber Girl, hello. Good move to move McGrath into the midfield for the fourth quarter. In the end, ended up being a battle of the clearance. Was he not in the midfield for most of the game? I thought he was in the midfield. Chris, a weird feeling, second time in 3 weeks. I know. Yep, lots to build on. Thank you, Matthew. You wanted that so bad. Damn, amazing job, Bombers. Agree. Thank you for the 3, Matthew. Appreciate it. All right, let's have a chat to Dave, who looks like he is driving back from the game.
I can't hear you, though. So I'm doing the 3-button thing, but I'm driving at the same time. So just hand signals because I can't go to someone else until I work it out.
Okay. This is, I need to get if anybody in the chat if you know who you are, I think Muzz, if you're in the chat, can you please tell me after you hit the 3 buttons, what do you hit next so I can make a little notice board to put up when this happens. Anyway, let's go to Corey. Hey, Corey.
How you going?
Not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm actually impressed with how we went today, even though it was an honourable loss, you could sort of call it as. If Gold Coast sort of kicked straight, we'd probably lose by 6 goals, but I'll still take a 9-point loss against a decent team.
Yeah, I personally, I totally get that they missed and left some out on the field, but I don't subscribe to if they kick straight, they win. You didn't kick straight. That's part of finishing being a complete football club. You kick the goals that you should kick. You didn't, so we stayed in the game because we miss our own goals too. I just see kicking goals as part of playing AFL football. And just like if you miss a handball or you miss a kick, you miss a goal. Well, if we'd got many of the handballs that we missed, we might have won. That's how I see that, anyway.
Yeah, that's one way. That is also another way to look at it. And yeah, even from a football perspective of myself playing, it's like that. It's like that too. If you missed a kick or a handball, or even in AFL terms, if you're doing that, it's the same reason. So no, I do understand that point. But no, it was from what I'd seen of it, because I'd missed the first half because I was playing footy myself. Our ball movement from half back before Ridley got injured, I thought was really, really impressive. We ran exactly, and from basing it off a Sydney GWS game, how they run in waves in 2s, 3s, and 4s, and we made Gold Coast look silly at some points of the game. It was really, really impressive. Like our ball use, obviously, it isn't perfect. It's not always the best, but we got goals out of nowhere sometimes with what we did in the second half. It's kind of hard. Like, you got to think, like, Collins absolutely monstered Caddy from all reports. He absolutely took the living piss out of him, and kudos to him. He's one of the best defenders in the AFL, in my opinion. Yeah. Just basing on his game, Caddy, his leading patterns just suited Collins' game style, and obviously being Gold Coast home ground, it's going to suit him even better. I think he probably could have played maybe centre half forward, not deep forward, and maybe put Edwards deep instead, just to change it up, because it seemed it was too repetitive and we just kept doing it, and Collins was just marking everything, and so was Mac Andrew in the second half. Yeah,
they were sent numbers back as well, and Euland for some reason always kills us. I remember last year watching him at Marvel, and he reads the ball in flight so well that we started playing into their hands a little bit. Yeah, I don't think we did it. I thought we did try and lower the eyes. Oh my gosh, just reminded me, how good was that Archer May kick where he marked it in the center of the ground? I think it was end of the second quarter, or maybe the third quarter. No, when we were losing momentum in the second quarter, he marks it in the kind of the center of the ground, and then just lowers the eyes into 2 meter Peter, who does a beautiful lead on Mac Andrew, and that changed the momentum for me. So I don't think we didn't. I don't know. Maybe it's because we're a bit better at ground level. It felt like we weren't getting outmarked too much, but we probably still did more than we should have.
Yeah, as I said, I've missed the first half, so I can only base what I saw in the second half. I did see that highlight where May lowered his eyes and hit Peter Wright lace out, which is really, really good, because guys like Caddy, Wright, and May, for such big guys that are 195 to 200 centimetres, actually have really good field kicks in our side, which usually you don't get that in many, like in good sides you do, but in sides like where we are positioned on the ladder, you don't find field kicks like that. So it's actually nice to know that when they do have it in their hands, if they're not having a shot, they're able to hit other people in the forward half of the field.
Yeah, great point. And 2 meter Peter has that ability too. We saw against Kangaroos. He had an incredible game, and the way he and Archie deliver the ball inside 50 is how they want it delivered to them. So it's no coincidence that happens to me. What do you think of Parrish's game?
For what I saw of the second half, he was really, really good. His first use by hand is good. His skills by foot are not good. I'm not afraid to say that. His skills by foot are poor. But him and Sardis by hand are first class in the midfield. We just need the outside users, your Merritts, your better kicks by foot to improve, to make that midfield better. And if you keep giving these guys actual games, and they were a lot better effective by foot, or by overall, Sardis was 78%, I think, effectiveness or something, which is pretty good, because usually he's going at 50. So kudos to the lad. Another good game. Parrish only saw the second half, but stats say he done well, so kudos to him as well. I know it's from a different point of view of a game, but the VFL point of view, Jaden Newham, I thought from the game before I played my own game, I thought his game was impressive.
Very impressive. He was fantastic. I thought overall this could just coincide with the pace of the game, or it could coincide with the fact that it's Gold Coast and it's humid and slippery. But there were a lot of missed tackles.
Yeah, there was. And a lot of people kept slipping over in the second half. And that was not just Essendon. Gold Coast did that as well. And I understand it's humid. It's 25 degrees. It's probably 80% humidity up there or whatever it is. Yeah. And it's not, because in Melbourne, obviously, it's freezing bloody cold and it's raining sideways some days. So we don't get that sort of weather. So we're not really used to it. So as much as the loss hurts and the conditions probably didn't favour us, I thought still pretty impressive to lose by 9 points. Regardless, it's a loss.
Yeah, I completely agree, Corey. And how did you go? Did you get the win?
Won by 10 goals, but 2-0 to start the year. Considering last year we only won two games for the year in the team I was in, so we're going all right.
Oh, lovely! So you had a very nice little dub out to celebrate tonight, or?
Nah, because I'm moving house in a couple of weeks. I'm just trying to
Oh, that's
organise
right.
all that sort of stuff. So I'm just
Fair enough.
prioritising that. But
Fair
yeah,
enough.
once I'm settled into the new place and new job and etc. kicking off in a couple of weeks, yeah, I'll go and celebrate. I'll go and celebrate that soon.
Well, hopefully it will coincide with Essendon win too. So it's celebrations all on hand. All right,
100%.
Corey, thanks for jumping on as usual. Love
No
your
worries,
insights. See ya.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye. Gee, Pats, thank you for the 10. We're on the right path. Some of these kids are special. Yeah. You just can't help but see the future. Like there is just you just know where we're going. And it just makes me feel so good inside now. And it's a polar opposite to how I felt. The flat line 3 or 4 or 5 weeks ago. Moby, thank you for the 15. Appreciate you. All right, let's talk to someone new. Hello, Jacko.
How are we?
Doing all right. I'm glad to see you have finally made it onto the fan cams. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
What are we thinking?
Look, kind of depressed, but what can you do?
But pretty happy with the performance, right?
Yeah, I was very happy with the performance.
Yep.
Sullivan Roby finally kicked a couple goals. That's good.
Yep.
But yeah, still quite upset.
Yeah, I mean, it was there. We could have 9 points is absolutely nothing, isn't it? We could have absolutely taken that.
Yeah. What did you think of the game?
Yeah,
I just came on, so I don't know how you think.
That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, I'm stoked with the. I can hear myself. No, there we go. I'm stoked with the effort and the fight. Like, did you see this coming like 5 weeks ago? You know when we spoke 5 weeks ago and the walls were crashing in.
I know. I remember calling you ages ago, and I was like, "What is going on with this club?" But
I know
there's something going on, and I'm actually excited now for Anzac Day from this performance. So.
Yes. Are you heading? Are you going to the game?
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah. Obviously, you're going down.
I'm starting to believe that. I don't want to get too excited.
I reckon we're in better form than the Pies.
Yeah, we are. I reckon too. They just scraped they just scraped across the line against Carlton, who are in bad form, right?
Yeah, I think if we show what we did today again against the Pies, I think we beat them.
Yeah,
but
I mean, they're going to be without Void. I don't know if you're still in the chat, but they're going to be without Darcy Moore, right? Side bottom. I don't know. He probably comes back.
Yeah,
he might still be a bit 50-50, and Degoe will come back, which is probably not helpful, but.
Yeah, but he's nothing special at the moment. He's a poor man's Roby.
Hey. Oh, how good was it to see him get his first goal?
Oh, mate. So good. So good. But yeah, I don't see, without Darcy Moore, I don't see how they stop their foot. Like Archie May looked pretty good today as well. Again. I don't know what happened to Tom Edwards at the end of the game, though.
All of a sudden I saw he got sent off for a HIA. So now I'm a bit worried. What if it turns out he's got a concussion? That means he misses. Oh, that means he's going to miss Anzac Day. He deserves to play.
Yeah,
he honestly. Yeah.
And what about Ridley? Of course, he's injured. Calf tightness. He's definitely out for a couple months.
Definitely.
He's gone. But I don't know.
All right, so let's say Edwards doesn't. Oh, okay. I don't want to actually say it because it's speaking into existence. But let's say Edwards doesn't come up. Who comes in for him? You reckon?
Well, McMahon kicked 3 goals. Whatever did he kick today? 3 goals or something like that?
I think he did, yeah. Yep.
McMahon. Perkins had a 20-odd disposal, but no, I don't think he comes in. Depending on the wet, like if it's wet.
Oh, good
I don't
call.
know.
Do we go small? If it's wet, we could go small.
Jaden Ewan. I think Jaden Ewan has to come in. He played unreal. He was incredible in that third quarter. So I think he should come in like bit more pressure in that forward half, so I think he should come in.
It's a good point. Yeah, it depends. And I don't know what the forecast is looking like at the moment, but the long forecast. But if it is wet, a bit of more pace at ground level could. But then Edwards is also very mobile and gives us another.
He was playing on the wing before. Oh, I saw that. He was. I don't know. Had Langford on the wing, then they had Edwards on the wing. So I don't know. They're looking for that tall winger like Harry Jones.
Yeah. What about Nick Cox? I'm not ready to give
up.
He
did all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kicked 3 goals today. He's so skillful, left and right footed. Sort of like Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, go.
No, you
continue.
go.
No, I just
I was
think like I don't know, just he's so skillful left and right. So I think he could. I don't know. He could come in.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Given he was an emergency 3 weeks ago, I reckon they could be tempted to
Yeah,
bring.
they're thinking about him. So I think
Edwards.
after 3 goals, few good goals, I don't know. I reckon he could come in.
Okay, Marie's come through with the early long forecast. 23 and cloudy, dry ground predicted.
Dry ground.
Love your work, Marie.
Well, maybe we do stay tall.
Maybe, yeah, I reckon Coxie might be a bit of a, what do they call it?
Yeah.
The joker in the pack might just shake shit up a little bit. I don't know.
Do you think Nick Bryan comes in, or didn't you reckon he was good? Because who was it? Ned Moyle sort of dominated him a bit today, so I don't know.
Yeah, I thought he had a shocker. I thought he looked really, I don't know whether it was tentative at the contest or, I don't know, just not a good game for mine.
Yeah.
What are you doing to bring him in? Would you, like, when Brian is ready, let's say, what are you doing in terms of the team? Are you dropping a Blackiston? Are you?
Yeah, it'd have to be. I think it has to be Blackiston, really. I don't know. I think Peter Wright's a better ruck than Blackiston, really. So I don't know.
Yeah. Is he better than Brian, though, now? I know he got killed in the hit-outs today, but I think he got more clearances. Maybe somebody in the chat confirmed that. Did 2 Meter Peter get more clearances than Witts? I think, yes, dark horse. Thank you, Biz. That's what I was going for. Not the joker in the pack, the dark horse. Thank you. Nick Cox could be the dark horse, possibly. Yeah, I don't know how.
Well, even Reece Unwin had an underrated game today as well. I reckon he did all right. He's very evasive, very quick, lively. Yeah, he's great. I like him.
Quick.
How good was Roby? I'm just so happy with Roby's goal today. I just keep thinking about it. Yeah.
Okay. Felix coming through for me. Witts had 4 clearances, right 1. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair enough. Witts probably had the better of the had the dominance today. So you reckon Roby stays in?
Yeah. I think he does.
Okay.
Who do you think will get dropped? Who didn't do much today? I don't even know.
I don't think anybody played so bad that they would come immediately out.
I think Sardell Hooley could come out. Like if they were going to drop someone, that I feel like they find it quite easy to drop Sardell Hooley, so I reckon he could. Okay. But I don't know who else would. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think anybody had such a shocking game that anybody's calling for their heads today. Everyone dug deep. I thought even Gresham was very, very good.
I like Gresham. I was watching my brothers and I thought Gresham was very lively today. I thought he did all right.
Getting up the ground, like when he pushes himself up the ground, he is so effective around the ball. And he was all preseason when he's around the ball. He's a different beast. I thought there were a couple of moments he snapped for goals when he could have looked inboard. I think he went a little tiny bit selfish a couple of moments. Yeah. But outside of that, I thought he had another good game.
Yeah. Oh, I reckon Gold Coast, I can't stand him now. They're one of my least favorite. I don't know anyone that goes for them, and they're one of my least favorite teams now, I reckon. I just can't wait to beat them.
It's true. Something about, I don't know. I think it's just the gift.
They didn't even deserve it today. Like, I reckon we're the better team. I don't know. I think I'm just being.
No, I think you got. Yeah, I think they had moments, but we certainly. I don't think we were so far away from being.
In that third quarter, when we had the momentum, I thought we needed to pile on a couple goals, and we didn't. We got a couple goal lead, but it wasn't enough. I knew they'd come back, and yeah. Their tolls are so good. Ethan Reid, Mac Andrew, they're just too good for us. And then their midfield bulls, Petrarca, Matt Rao in that first half was dominant. Yeah,
he killed us. Yeah. I still think he gets. I still think he gets gifted a second longer than most.
Yeah, I was so happy when McGrath got him holding the bowl. I'm like, he's doing a 360. That's the rule. If you do a 360, it's bowl. So I don't understand. But
agree.
Good effort.
100%. What were your views on, before I let you go, your views on Sardis? I'm saying mixed opinions.
I think he did all right. He didn't do any drastic, no poor turnovers that I can think of. Because that's his weakness, is his ball use. But I think he'll keep his spot. I think he did all right. What about you?
I think he'll keep his spot too.
Yeah.
I think he did enough to keep his spot.
And I think we need to. Like, he's pick 5. We need to give him a go.
Yep. At least a good month, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Anyways,
Jacko. Thanks for joining.
have a good
Love your
one.
work. I'll talk to you.
See ya.
Bye. Don't worry, Papa Fish. I'll burn more messages into the hanger. Was that you? Are you telling us all something here? Do I need to hit the report button? Hello, Scooter. This game was encouraging. I would rather say post-game, great effort and planning, all but inexperience did show in key times, and that's okay. Yeah. I think we all think this, if we continue to lose like this, but it gets us a good draft pick, but this is how we lose: fight, effort, intensity, energy. I think we'll all be pretty happy, right? Because we know the long game here is we need at least 1 or 2 more drafts of quality kids and young kids coming through before we can then, be a team that is going to attract some big fish. All right, let's try Dave again. Dave, do I have you?
How are we now? I
Hey.
can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you tell me what exactly you did after you pressed the 3 buttons?
Sorry?
What did you do to hear me? You pressed the 3 buttons and what did you click?
Because it's on the phone, I clicked on the 3 buttons and went to audio settings and actually changed it to CarPlay because I'm in the car. And then I had to restart the app a couple of times, just refresh on Safari and that. So it was
all
a
good.
fucking mess, really.
How was the game?
It was good. It was good. I thought we played really well. I thought those red time goals in the first and third quarter just killed us in the end. And did they talk about the wind on the telly?
Wind. In the VFL they did. It was very obvious in the VFL. Whoever was kicking to left of screen was getting the ascendancy and was getting some real advantage with the wind.
Yeah, because it was really windy there, and it's got worse. But we were unlucky on a few things. Obviously losing Ridley, and then what the hell happened with Edwards, because they actually stopped the game to get him off the ground. It wasn't like someone went out to him. And did he have blood coming from him?
No, it was a HIA. Someone in the arc picked it up in a replay, sitting on the boundary, and just talk to myself, shall I? And 200 of you. Speaking of which, hit the like button, please. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Oh, no, I can still hear you. I just can't see you anymore.
You there?
Can you hear me?
Can you see me
Dave?
now?
No, I can't see you, but I can hear you.
I can hear you fine. Oh.
Okay, if you can hear me, carry on. HIA, so he might be concussed. I don't know. Everybody in the chat, if you're watching the socials at the same time, keep us posted.
There was a before he went off. It was probably about 5 minutes before he went off. It was on the wing, like where I was sitting and stuff. So on the other side of the TV. And he was in a marking contest and stuff, and you could see that he got whacked in the head, but he kind of just got up and played on. There was nothing kind of weird about it. And then at one stage they just asked him to come off. So, and he went into the back line after Ridley once they announced kind of Ridley wasn't coming back. So he played probably about 10 or 15 minutes in the back line.
Interesting.
And then that's how they got those goals, I thought anyway, well, at least those shots on goal at the end. So, but who played on Rao? That was my question.
McGrath,
the whole game?
I think there was some interchanging between he and possibly Caldwell, but Caldwell was on Petrarca for a lot of the time too.
Yeah, because every time I saw Caldwell on Rao, he would tackle him in that first effort, but then Caldwell would kind of look to the Essendon players as if we were going to get the ball, and then Rao would just kind of take off, and then Rao would end up getting the ball outside on the second effort and stuff. That's how it looks like watching the game. But yeah, we were lucky that they missed all those kind of shots on goal in the second quarter. I think, was it the second quarter where they missed a heap?
I think in the last quarter they missed a few too.
Oh, they missed a lot then. But and then we just, in those plays in the middle of the ground in that last quarter, where the players, rather than turning, they were getting possession of the ball and then turning to the boundary line instead of turning to the middle, and they kind of missed opportunities to hit players up in that last kind of 5 or 10 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah.
So
I thought that we looked a bit dysfunctional in the last quarter going forward, I thought.
Yeah. So anyway, on to next week. I don't know if we lose both Ridley and Edwards, then McMahon looked okay. Newen looked fantastic in the forward line. I've got to say, he was an angry man, and he was just bumping and getting in the face of everyone who, when they were playing, even running past, going to another player, he was kind of bumping him and stuff. So
I'm told someone actually messaged me and said that his voice was actually very good too. He was doing a lot of talking, which, I mean, love that. If he has that in his game and his persona already, love that. We need that.
And the same with Kondo as well. Like, Kondo played a lot on Jamara, and he was in his ear the whole time. Every time Jamara kind of picked up the ball or didn't execute a possession, Kondo was in his ear. It was kind of good to watch that.
Got a very innocent face, old Maxi, but he's good on the lip. Okay.
He was good.
Might bottle that information.
Has my camera come back yet or not?
No, I'm talking to a blank screen, but it's fine. It's fine.
Sorry.
It's more about what you say anyway, because I know what you bring.
And I was sitting down. It was probably half time, and a person walked towards me, like up the stairs towards me, and I looked at their hat, and it was an Essendon hat, because there was plenty of Essendon people, and there's a badge on his hat, and it was a BB badge.
Oh,
and
I love this.
It was Jez.
You got to meet Jez. I think he'd be many, many wines down by now. They had a very big night out on the town as well last night. So
yeah, so he was with a few
mates. Hello?
Yeah. We said hello. It was just the start of the third quarter and stuff. So they were actually sitting on the same row as me, and then we had a quick chat, and then they were on it. So I didn't get to see him after the game, but there you go. And I saw Jade earlier. I don't know if she's been on yet, but I saw Jade for the VFL game when I got there, and that I kind of picked out Jade straight away, and we sat down and had a chat. So yeah,
good. Well, it looks like it was an absolutely beautiful day out there. So we'll let you get home safe. Thanks, Dave, for jumping on.
No worries. Ciao.
Catcha. Bye. Oh, yes. Hello, Trev. Good effort overall. Just one thing. Why is Rao allowed to be spun 360 in tackles and not get pinged? Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the answer. Great day for the club. Finally, some proper depth on the list after years of running on empty about bloody time. Yeah. And anybody, I don't know. Well, we're going to be tested, I guess, next week if Ridley, well, let's assume that he's not going to come up. You know, the system is going to be tested, because the 1 out, 1 in tests your system, or the 2 out, 2 in if Edwards, touchwood, is not out, or if he is out. If, for example, Pryor and Cox or Pryor and Newen come in, that's going to test the system. And technically, if it's a good system and if it holds up and if everybody plays to the system, we should get the same output and the same result, hopefully with the win, but you know what I mean. We wait and see. Oh, does this not just warm my heart so much? Did I not warn you all how good his hands were? So good. Most tackles too, Archie May. Love that. He's such a presence, and he's just a baby. Think how high his ceiling is. He's a baby. All right, let's talk to Greg. Hello, Greg.
There, Fiona.
I love how I'm
today.
getting a total 360 of all of your house. I'm every time you've jumped on, you're in different rooms, and I love that I'm getting.
Yes, that's true. It depends where I have to be so that I don't annoy my wife as she's doing some study. So I'm down in my little den at the moment. So it's a lovely little spot.
Love it.
Yeah, watched both games today. Watched the reserve grade game, and Jaden played well. Brian is definitely not ready. He's a long way away, in my opinion. I saw shorts. Yeah, I saw him take short steps at the contest a number of times. And while I get it, I mean, you're coming back from knee reconstruction, and particularly being a big unit, you're going to be apprehensive. But he has a ways to go, so I couldn't see him possibly coming in the next few weeks. It would shock me knowing. Zach Johnson, plenty of the ball today again. Used it pretty well. Turned it over maybe once or twice, but generally he had a good game. So one expects that he'll come straight in for Ridley. Make perfect sense. And who else in the reserve grade that stood out? Not really too many, to be honest. Kondo was honest, but nothing special. Perkins had a bit of the footy, but again...
What was your take on Nick Cox?
Nick Cox could come in. It's probably the most confident I've seen him play. He's a young man that's obviously had head trauma, and I think a few of us have been guilty of criticising his attack on the football without really understanding what he's had to work his way through, and he's working his way through. And when you watch him play, his delivery of the football is outstanding. And I think he kicked 3 goals today. I'm not sure. He kicked a few anyway. So yeah, he could certainly come in into our forward line, maybe even up the ground. I don't know, but he went okay. So three shining lights. He was one of them. Not Perkins. Perkins was hanging on the outside. If you watch the game in replay, you'll notice that Perkins is always on the outside looking for the easy receive. He's not using his strength to get in there and bullock and get the footy. I don't see him as an outside player. I think he's got to mix up his game. So I was a little bit disappointed. Yeah, he started okay, but I wouldn't be confident with him coming back into the side at the moment. He needs I don't know what he needs. He needs something, but he hasn't got what we need at the moment, Fiona.
Do you think they should have played him more in the middle at centre bounce?
Well, again, he was looking for the easy ball. You saw the game. He was looking for the easy ball.
I wonder if that was the instruction, like sit on the outside and receive the ball and use it, because his delivery inside 50, it hasn't been good this year, but it generally holds up. So I wonder whether that was the instruction.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's not a good look, though. I mean, just watching the game, it wasn't a good look. But look, we've got Zach Johnson, who is an accumulator, and he uses the ball very well. You know this, I know this. So I don't think we lose too much with him coming in. Of course, we lose with Ridley going out, because it was apparent in the game today without Ridley there. Again, we looked a little bit like, I noticed Mackay was at 6s and 7s. He didn't know whether to commit to King or double back, so he was getting caught in no man's land. Zach Reed again was having trouble reading the football, and it's not their fault. It was just the way the ball was coming in on the rebound. Because today, and I'm going to not give one of our players some love, so don't hold this against me, but Archer Daywicks today turned over 2 direct goals, and we lost by less than that. Of course, he turned the ball over when he kicked to a 2-on-1, and they had 2 streaming players on the inside going through at the same time. So we had one guy trying to beat them, and that was a poor decision. But again, he's a young player learning his craft. And then, of course, in the last quarter, where he just directly kicked it to the opposition, they went and kicked a goal. So yeah, and I think I saw him get beaten by Hewland a couple of times out on the wing, where he tried to body Hewland, and Hewland just used his speed to be front, first to the footy. So Day Wicks was trying to, anticipate which way he was going to go, and of course, Hewland just left him in his wake. So I know that's pretty tough to be even making those comments, but to the astute, if you're watching the game, you pick these things up, and he has plenty to offer, but he's still got a fair bit of development to go. Sullivan Roby, 2 goals today, fantastic. He's a player of the future. He does turn blind though, so that's something that he's going to have to learn about, turning blind, because he was getting caught on the blind turns.
Yep.
But that comes with experience. I could not understand. Now, tell me what you think about this, Fiona. I could not understand that Brad Scott. Now, I'm not bagging Brad Scott. I thought he had a good game today, but a couple of his decisions left me confused. The first one was that Caddy needed to be up the ground. Everybody could see it. He had to move up the ground. Could have moved him almost up to the centre. Just move him up the ground, and Collins either goes with him or he doesn't. But if Collins is taken out of that goal square, we maybe kick another 2 goals. So I was baffled that Caddy was playing out of the goal square all game. Absolutely baffled by that move, because Archer Day Wicks was our most effective forward. There is no ifs, buts, or maybes today. His presence was outstanding.
Archie May, you mean?
He was,
Archie May?
Archer May. Sorry, my bad.
That's all right,
May. Yeah, Archer May's performance today was truly outstanding, and he really gives us something. He really does. And whenever he's one-on-one, he wins.
Yep. Or he halves the contest. He rarely gets outmarked. Yeah.
Yeah, and so if Archer May has that responsibility deep, and Caddy gets released up the ground, I think that opens up our forward line, particularly because Collins was just a rock. He was just a blockage, and we were struggling with that blockage. So I was disappointed. I didn't understand what Brad's thinking was there. And also in the last 8 minutes of the game, we're 2 kicks down, and we had to take the game on. And if you're going to take the game on, you've got to know your set plays and its numbers to the ball. We didn't do that. We didn't get numbers. Every time we took the ball out of our after a point was scored, we were going to one-on-ones or 2-on-2s. At no time were we going where we were in a position where we knew we were going to have maybe 4-2 at the drop of the footy. We just didn't do it, and I didn't understand that.
Did we have? Are you saying that we saw, as in there were options where there were an outnumber up ahead of the ball? Because I felt like Gold Coast were just not allowing that to happen.
Yeah, but you've got to know where the footy's going, and everyone breaks for that position. I mean, Collingwood do that so well, for example. But I just don't think that we had any system, and I could not understand that we would have Zach Merritt playing in the last line of defence when the game was in the balance with 5 minutes to go. Anyone could have brought that ball out of that back line. Anyone. Honestly, that's got half a decent kick.
Could they have, though?
I think so. I think he needed to be up the ground with our prime movers, because we had to win the game, not save it. So I think we had to roll the dice a little bit. But,
But you know what, Greg? I can say with 100% certainty that Zach Merritt would have taken himself there, because he has the license to do that. And he has said in interviews that I go where I think I'm needed. And Brad Scott has said that he doesn't tell him. He takes himself there. So he obviously felt that he needed to go there.
In the last line. Yeah, well, you're probably right, Fiona, but to me, it's a negative play. We were in that game up to our necks, and one of the things that was so pleasing I'm not going away disappointed from that game, by the way. We didn't get the 4 points. I didn't necessarily expect we would, but we actually were in with a chance. Excuse me. We were in with a chance, and I was so proud of the way our guys were hunting the ball. I thought Sam Durham started to play a little bit better. He's slowly starting to find a bit of form. His attack on the footy was really good. Jai Caldwell, his attack on the footy was really, really good today. Oh, yeah, okay. And it was Sam Durham that delivered that handball to him that he just marginally fumbled when he was running into goal. But have a look at that handball, 25 metre over the top into his, and he's missed by, I don't know, a foot, which was a shame, but great play. And Darcy Parish, oh boy, was I hard on Darcy Parish. He's now finding his way. And if you have a look, he had 11 pressure acts. 11. Darcy Parish had 11 pressure acts, 30 disposals, and it was often Darcy Parish that was hanging off Rao. The problem for us with Rao is he's just so flippin' strong. We didn't have anybody with the strength outside of maybe a Sam Durham that may have been able to bring him down. But Andy McGrath, again, another great game. I'm so happy to see him hitting some great form and playing well and playing as a leader. What did you think of his game, Fiona?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought he showed some really good leadership. He got in the face of some of the Gold Coast players when they were being a bit rough and being bullies a little bit. So I thought his leadership was really good. I think he got, beaten by a very, very good Brownlow medalist in terms of the one-on-one and, but I think the midfield is where they need to leave him now. I truly do think that. I think we've seen enough. It's only been 2 weeks, but we've seen enough. Yep. Moby, I think you're right. Greg's making the Bomber Banter intellectual AFL 360. Yep. I think he's seen a few games in his day. I think so too. You see the game very, very well, Greg.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, I mean, look how old I am. I mean, seriously. I mean, I was watching Essendon back in the 60s. You weren't even a thought back in those days for me. So there you go. And enjoyed the great years of the 80s, 84 and 85, and of course 2000 and 99 when we somehow managed to lose the impossible game against Carlton. We would have always beaten North Melbourne in the grand final. I think we all knew that. But anyway,
you're also TL likes your Essendon themed headset too.
Oh, absolutely. Everything's Essendon. Essendon. I'm an Essendon tragic.
Yeah, don't worry. We're all nuffies here. Anybody who is here is a nuffie. The shovel unit also getting some love. So all-round love for you, Greg. So well done.
That's great. Fantastic.
You're right, Neil. Gary Lyon will ban Greg for life. Exactly. He's way too good at what you do, Greg, and probably better than him. So,
one last shout out for your feed.
Sure.
Blackiston. Oh, Fiona. Blackiston. Again, watch his game today. His game was great. He really was. And I think that, Peter Wright and Blackiston, they did as well as one could probably expect. We were up against a premium midfield. There isn't many midfields getting around as good as that midfield. When you've got Petrarca, Rao, Miller, running through that midfield with a Witts or even a Mac Andrew, though Peter Wright sort of worked out Mac Andrew with the nice little push in the chest before the ball would come down and then try and farm it out. So Peter, again, playing with his head. And look, I think Peter had 2 goal-saving marks in the back line, which, again, stood out to me. And, of course, that lovely hit up that he got from May, kicking that goal. So both him and Blackiston, I thought, did really, really well. And I cannot, for the life of me, see a world where Blackiston goes out of that side. He does bring something. And more than what he brings, he's getting better. And that stands out to me. He's getting better week by week. So great effort by the team again today. So excited. Looking forward to Anzac Day. I'm going to give you one right now, Fiona. We're going to win. We're going to win on Anzac Day.
Fan cams are going to go off.
Well, I won't appear.
I expect 35 people. I expect 45 people lining up to chat if you're not all off celebrating. Because, man, if we win Anzac Day, we are due.
I think it's as good. It's as good a chance as we've had, because one of the things that stands out for our team, they were talking about our pace. We didn't really lack too much pace today. It was quite evident that what we lacked was a little bit of experience. Our younger players, and God bless them, they're doing their very best, but their decision making always isn't quite right. But man, they're playing with heart, and Brad Scott's got them playing for the jumper. And it was very evident to me today that first bounce, first quarter, and then really maintaining the rage in fits and starts throughout the game tells me that that's a team that's on the rise. So we can look forward to improved performances as years go by. And I am actually full of optimism after what I've seen in the last 3 weeks. I think every Essendon supporter should be. And get behind our players, get behind our coach. Even I'm getting behind Scott, and I don't like some of his decisions, but he had the boys playing. He had the boys playing for their jumper today, and it was very obvious.
Yeah, well said. You nailed it, Greg, with pretty much all of your observations I agree with. So absolutely, we bring on Anzac Day. Thank you so much.
So looking forward to it, Fiona.
Yeah,
it's going
me
to be a great
too.
because we're going to win. You heard it here first.
All wonderful.
Right. Cheers.
Ciao. Bye. Freaking love Greg. Yes, Marie, you're right. Lady Nuffy Lish. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think anybody can say, sorry, I was just reading some of your comments. I don't think anybody can say, can anybody, I know some people are still on the fence of Brad Scott, and fair enough, fine. Absolutely, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But can anybody watch the last 2 weeks and say that this team are not playing for the coach? Because I don't know how logically you can, personally. Playing for the jumper, yeah. But the sentiment when they're playing well is, when a team is playing well, is that they're playing for the coach. The sentiment when the team are showing fight and heart and energy is that they're playing for the coach, playing for each other. And I don't know, but I equate those two things, and that's what I saw. So it's hard not to think that's happening. I don't know. What do you guys think? Dino, I hope Greg the yacht will be on. Yes, he was great. Greg from Thailand. He is officially Greg from Thailand. Mitch, yes, but Gold Coast locked down and went man on man. Yeah, I thought they did that really well and just kind of suffocated our ability to hit as many uncontested possessions as we did last week. So they're available at Bunnings. The merch, I'm looking for something red to wear before jumping on, but I'm not a hood rat anymore, so I don't own red clothes. Well, if you barrack for Essendon, you would own red clothes. I think it just goes hand in hand. He was probably trying to organise the defence. Yeah, good call, TL. I think, yeah, and that's good leadership in a way, to take yourself down there if you can see that maybe some of the kids or some of the connections are looking a bit fumbly, a bit jumpy. Dave, we were running out of players to put in the back line. Merritt did the right thing. Yeah, I just thought they looked a bit jumpy and a bit panicked at times, but that's understandable. The ball was, and that's what Gold Coast kind of do. They repeat, they thrive off repeat entries. They just continue to keep it down there. So, John, only coaching issue today was the way we used Caddy against Sam Collins. Yeah. I think that's a fair enough call. I guess the way I saw it was Caddy was just keeping him accountable and in a way maybe played a bit of a sacrificial role to let Archie May and Edwards get their share of the ball and their share of impact, because whoever was getting Collins, I think, had to do that job. Would he have followed him up the ground? I don't think so. I think they would have let just Caddy roam up the ground. See, and that's why McGrath should have been in the mid years ago. Give me McGrath the defensive role and Merritt attacking mid role. I mean, imagine, like, I know all teams are missing players, but imagine Nick Martin is out there today on the outside, just using the ball so well and delivering it and just knowing how to read the play and where to be. Yeah. What could have been? We were so close. So close. Sunstripe. Saturnian king of energy, Greg. Bloodgel is agile and versatile. I thought what he did really well today, he put his body on the line quite a bit, and he does that regularly, but I thought today he took some hard hits, and he put his body in between some sandwiches, I thought. Blackerson brings some fantastic running and position. Yeah. Ray lacked a bit of polish, which will come. Yeah, I thought that too. Even Farrow with that kick, he kicked it straight to the Suns player, and very un-Farrow-like. Those things will happen less and less the more, confident they get at this level. I'm not paying my rent. It's all going on the Bombers with the money back guarantee from Greg. Oh no, Greg, if you're here, oi. Although he's got me kind of confident now, and I don't like living in that space because the crash down, the disappointment then can come to bite you. Got to respect yourself, but you can respect others. You're eating some Savoys, but you don't like biscuits. Did you see how much Brad wanted them to win today? Yeah, he was up and about. He was very animated, wasn't he? That'll make a lot of you happy, surely. Jacob, how are you? I think people are seduced by Blackiston's effort. Was on long in the first quarter when he was all over us. He's not a backman, which is why he struggled. Would have loved Pryor out there. Possibly. But I think he brings a bit more than effort. But, yeah, possibly. I think, he's another one. He's going to have to fight to keep his spot, and that's what depth does, and that's what he wants. That's what we want as a team. They are playing for themselves in an unselfish way. Interesting. Mrs. Merritt off to Gimblett has turned the season around and no one gives her credit. What a call. I don't know. I'm not willing to go that far, Muzz. You're being very generous, if I do say so. But, hey, if that's what it took, I guess I'll give credit. It's probably at work, Atush. The question was never whether or not they were playing for the coach. The question was about how they were being structured, selection, and the ability to change and adapt. That's fair enough, but the question was definitely whether they were playing for the coach, because maybe, I'm not saying you said that, but many people said that. Many people. Many people. And the comparison was to, again, I bring it up, to Kingsley. So I think we'd like to see a little passion from Scott, but other than that, I think he's delivering on what he promises from the team. It's a two-way street. I still think it's a bit from this column and a bit from this column and a bit from this column. I don't think it was ever one of anyone's fault, and I don't think it's one person's kind of improvement that is causing what we're seeing. I think it's a collective improvement across the entire board that is providing the results we're getting. If anyone is shitting on Brad Scott after the last two performances, piss off. This is 100% a different team than the first 2 weeks. He's been great for once. As well as how they're being developed. Yeah, and I keep going back to him Brad Scott being very strong on watch the individual development of these players and how they come along, because the rest will take care of itself. And that is, in a way, his philosophy and his ethos. And hard to argue with it at this point. How did we see Archie Roberts' game? He had a funny game. He accumulated as usual and got to some really good spots. And his, effort was good. Didn't feel, maybe I got to watch the replay, but I didn't feel like his impact was quite the same as what it was last week. I could be wrong. Nearly had a Gold Coast Suns moment. We need Joe. Where's he? Don't know. Could be out celebrating. Brad Scott confirms Ridley off with tightness, no risk policy with him. We'll have scans and hoping it's okay. All okay. What are the chances that to two of our high risk players, the scans come back clean and it was just their minds being a little bit paranoid? What are the chances? Do we get that at Essendon? Does that happen to us at Essendon? I don't know. When's the last time that such positive outcomes happened like that? I hope this is all in Ridley's head. God, please make it all in Ridley's head. Mrs. Merritt ain't happy. Yeah. Gold Coast seemed like a group of great players and a few others. Essendon looked like a team. We have more upside long-term. Good call. They have a lot of individual brilliance, don't they? You need to hit Jason Johnson up on how to stream from a car. Yes, Dave, if you're in the chat. Poor old Jason Johnson getting a copping it, isn't he? For being on the old Bluetooth. we won clearances, but every time they won one, it was looking like they would score. We need to improve at shutting them down on a quick centre break. Yeah, I think they did. Majority of their centre bounce clearances resulted in a score. Hello, James. Ridley playing the full game and Edwards off in the last 5 minutes was the difference. Yeah. If we could only have a time machine and go back and actually watch the game with Ridley full time. They have a very good forward line. Yeah, they do. DeMart wouldn't be too happy with that game. Interesting. I wonder if it was, just trying to think if he would have seen that as that they didn't play well or that we just played well and took it up to them. Interesting. I'll be interested to hear his press conference and sense that, because I don't know about you, but I definitely can sense, even though the words coming out of their mouth, the coaches, they might say that, Essendon are a great team, but I can generally sense whether that's just a statement or whether they actually believe that and whether they think they were the better team generally. So it'll be interesting to hear that. Prior on Elliot, Gwenda's going early with the matchup for next week. That scares me a little, I'm not going to lie. But I'm on the Jackson Pryor train after last week. He was incredible. Why has no one signed up Gimlet as a sponsor yet? I know, right, Sean? They should absolutely contact me. Bernie, I can see Blackerson becoming the ultimate swingman. Yeah, me too. WJ, can we give guys like Sardis, Alhuli and Gresham a shout out and how they've been able to force their way into the team after looking lost to the wilderness and actually playing their roles well? Yeah. Well, I've already given Gresham a good shout out. Sardis, beautiful, quick hands in tight, loved some of his efforts. I still think he's got to close the gap a little bit defensively, but definitely enough to warrant a spot next week as well. Alhuli, I have to watch the replay. I think he had some good moments, but I don't know that he quite finished his work quite enough. But you're right. They all three looked to the wilderness. So I'm keen to see more of them. Absolutely. Let's have a quick chat to Felix.
Hello, Fiona. How are you?
Hello, legend. Long time no see on the fan cams.
Yeah,
how are you?
Well, yeah. Good, thank you. Better after that performance, to be honest. Didn't get the win. That's okay.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, you are coming off a gather round first-hand watch last week. So, firstly, how many games did you get to? How was the experience? I know you're a South Australian, so you've probably been there before, but how was the experience?
Yeah, I love gather round because Adelaide's a pretty boring city. But during the Fringe, which is about a month before gather round, it's actually just like an enjoyable place to be. So if you haven't been to a gather round, get out to it, while it's still in Adelaide for however long it is, because it is really fun. You just get everyone in their jumpers and their scarves at different games. I went to a game every day, I'm fairly sure. And just like the amount of just footy neutrals there, just kind of supporting the game makes it really fun.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, if you went to one every day, which was your favourite?
Obviously, aside from Essendon, Fremantle Collingwood was a really shit game of football. It was 39-45, but the vibes were just because everyone there was so anti-Collingwood. Oh. So it was like Collingwood fans and then the whole crowd of just like football fans going for Freo. So that was pretty fun.
Okay. Bonded over a common enemy.
Exactly. But just the weekend in general, I was showing a bunch of Melbourne people around the city and they were enjoying Adelaide while it was, kind of pumping for the limited amount of time that it is for the year. So get down to a gather round game next year. We'll go together. Yeah,
absolutely. I might have to take fan cams on the road once I work out the technology part. Just got to do that. But onto the game anyway. How did you see it? Obviously, the feels, the vibes are good because we were really in the game pretty much the entire. Yeah, you would say we were kind of in the game for the entire day, which is rare for us.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think what I really liked was that we were, even when it looked like we weren't going to be in the game, we found a way back because there were a few times where the Suns piled on a few goals. Either was it the second or third quarter where they were 20 points up, and I'm sat there thinking, okay, here we go. But we just found a way to respond, which I really liked. And honestly, even just on off the back of last week and the week before, it's good to just watch footy and kind of enjoy it a bit more and be a bit stressed out. You know, like I think the North game was kind of like it was a numb kind of stress where you're just, you know, sat there expecting the loss because there's the comeback. But in these games, you're kind of like, you know, actually up and about and celebrating, and we haven't really felt that for a while. So it's good to be, you know, watching footy with a bit of stress again in a weird way.
Yeah, it was. You're right about the feeling feeling like, oh no, we're lost here. I think I texted a friend saying, I think they're going to split us open. I think I texted that a few times because it felt like that, but yet we just dug deep. Do you think did Gold Coast drop their heads in those moments, or did we force our way back with some good football?
It felt like we forced our way back. I'm trying to remember when the goals came, because it might have been Sully Robies that came at a pretty important time as well, which would have got everyone up and about. Yeah,
in the second quarter, it was definitely the Archer May, the 2 meter Peter goal. So when Archer May lowered the eyes and hit that changed the momentum for me in the second. But yeah, I can't quite remember who. Maybe it was the Roby goal in the third.
Yeah, tough to remember. But I think this game was just like kind of built around momentum swings anyway. Like the amount of red time goals that they got, I haven't counted them yet. I will for when I do my review video, but there were quite a few. Like I think that first quarter, they kicked 3 goals in the last 2 minutes or something ridiculous like that. So there were lots of momentum swings. And I guess it was just, because that 20-point margin was so early in the game, that was when we got our real first momentum swing of the game. And that's how you knew that we were going to be sticking around. I never really felt that we were like confident that we could win just because of the amount of star power they had, which eventually got them the win in the end. But it was hard after that like initial response to feel that we were, going to be out of this game completely.
Yeah, good call. I'm interested how did you see the midfield? The matchups, the synergy, we tried a few things. They threw Durham in there, who's kind of been out of the centre bounce and the midfield more the last few weeks. He's been the one that's been sacrificed, as well as Isaac Kako with Andy going in there. How did you see it?
Well, on paper, it looks better. And I think we're getting a lot more of the footy from the midfield, which is important because we're not a great team at scoring, out of D50. I don't think like we tend to just kind of slow it down a little bit when we're deep in defence, which is okay because we don't lose the footy. But I think there was I haven't got the stats, but there was a stat going around that we doubled their centre clearances or something, but we're still scoring quite a bit less from the stoppages that we did get. So they were clearly doing more damage out of the midfield, even though on paper or on the stats it looks like we had the upper hand. But I think that just that initial getting the football, getting your hands on it was pretty important in a game like this. And I talked about that a lot in my preview about how important the contest would be in a game against a team that loves to score off turnover in Gold Coast. So you've got to say it's a win, especially after how shocking it's looked in the first few rounds. It's just those magnet flicks that seem to be, I don't know, somehow working, even though you wouldn't really expect Parish and Sardis to be in the same midfield, but still be performing together.
Well, that's what I want to ask you because, of course, with Scooter in our live show pre-season, we tried to pick our round 1 lineup. And I guess the conjecture was that, a Sharp, Parish, Sardis, Caldwell, Durham midfield mix was just never going to work because it seemed a little one-dimensional. And I never thought I'd be seeing Parish, Caldwell, Sardis in a midfield mix. But how and why is it working?
I don't know. I wish I could tell you because you try and picture it in your head and it feels like it's so one-dimensional. And maybe that's why we're not doing damage. Maybe that's the next step because we've just started getting, a bit more ascendancy in the contest and we're starting to, break even, if not win there. And I guess the next step is how do you do damage from the contest? And maybe that's the issue that we're finding with Parish and Sardis and all these players that are kind of, similar. There's not as much damage with them. So that's probably going to be the next step. But the fact that we're just, getting to this stage where we're thinking about the next step is a good place to be because the first few weeks were horrific. That midfield was the worst I've ever seen it. But
unbelievably so.
Yeah, as bad as I've ever seen an Essendon midfield. Even the Saga year 2016, we've probably had some better performances in the midfield than that. But and it's interesting because you take away the players like Kako and Durham who kind of give you that spark and that energy, And I guess that's why we threw Durham in there late in the game to kind of, try and provide that when we needed goals. But I think that's the next step is finding a way to include them more because, like, I loved what Durham did last week up forward. I loved what he did in patches in this game up forward, but he's just someone that you want with the footy more. Same with Kako. You want them getting an extra 5 disposals, even if it means that like a Sardis or Parish gets 5 less than what they're getting.
Yeah, I guess it's also Durham is probably the only one who can be proficient up forward. Like Sardis is ineffectual up forward resting. You cannot rest him there. And same with Parish. They are one-dimensional in that respect. Kako, even Caldwell and Durham are the ones who can be somewhat effective ahead of the ball, so in the forward line. So I think, it's going to be interesting moving forward to see how it goes. But you're right, it's probably that post-clearance possession or is it when it gets to the forward line? Or is it how they're delivering it into the forward line that we need?
Well, I was thinking during the game, and I don't want to highlight Sardis because it's not just him, but I was thinking about trying to do like a little statistical, deep dive on where our clearances end up, like where the football bounces.
Yeah.
And then I realized that will take a lot of effort because so I won't. But there was a few where we get the clearance, it ticks over on the stat sheet, but it ends up on the wing. It's just a high up and under kick to the wing where it's not really suiting anyone. It's just kind of putting the ball in the contest further away from goals. And even if we win that initial contest on the wing, we still have another kick to go inside 50. Whereas Gold Coast just stream it straight through the middle. Matt Rowell is impossible to tackle. So I think it's more just the clearance itself and where it ends up, rather than the contest inside 50.
There's a bit more thought. There's a bit more thought and method to the way that they use the ball and deliver the ball inside 50. Our midfielders feel like they just chuck it on the boot and it, as you say, it ends up near the wing, on the wing, somewhere along there. So you're right. We probably have to be a bit more conscious. I think they feel like they're rushed, a lot of the time. So, that could have, Angus, you're right. Andy McGrath also does that. He also chucks the footy on the boot without much thought sometimes because he feels like, I guess, he doesn't have time. Question from Noel. Felix, do you think Kako tries to back his pace too much? A couple of times he needed to get the ball to a teammate rather than run. There was one occurrence where Gresham was running alongside him and he should have given the handball to Gresham, who could have streamed in, and he went to his right. And it was it was the 9-meter kick. I think it was to Merritt, and they called play on, and they coughed up the ball, and it went the other way. So your response to this?
I think that's a good thing to be doing, though. I think if you've got a young player who's backing himself in to do that sort of stuff, if he's got the talent, even if he's making mistakes, I'd rather see that than someone who's kind of hiding in their shell a little bit and trying to give off to teammates. At all costs. I think if anything, by the way, with that 90-meter pass, I think it was to Caddy, he could have just gone for goal. I think he was on the almost at 50 with a bit of space, and he was trying to do the unselfish thing, hitting up a target, which is fine if it was a 15-meter target, but he pretty much could have hand passed it to Caddy. And
did he get a bit of PTSD in that moment of Cozzy Pickett? Did he hear footsteps?
I was thinking that. Well, that's what I was thinking while it was going on. But no, I like Kako trying to do that sort of stuff. And you can feel it in his game a lot more than you could last year. Last year, he was doing so much right. And it was obviously really enjoyable, especially late in the year. But now we're starting to see him become more of a dangerous player, probably through that experience last year. So I don't mind it. I'm okay if he gets run down a few times a game, as long as he's trying that sort of stuff.
Yeah, me too. And just by virtue of the way he plays his football, I think that's what he brings. He swings momentum that way. He's a sweeper. He comes at speed, at pace, with energy. And I think that's what we need that in our team. We need maybe one more player who does that. And there might be a player in the draft who I know you are keeping a very close eye on, who is very good at that too, who is also an Essendon supporter, who I think we should definitely be looking at. But yeah, Sunstripe, I think you nail it. Kako feeling it out with more experience will get the balance right. They always learn from their errors, so I expect them to be a little bit better even by next week. Absolutely, and he is absolutely that kind of built that way. He will not rest until he gets better and better. So, yeah, it's a good call. What was your opinion on the Caddy Collins matchup? Should they have pushed him higher up the ground or just allowed him to keep Collins accountable? Because somebody tell me how many, or maybe how many intercepts did Collins actually have in the end? Was it a ridiculous amount?
Oh, I'm gonna guess it was I'm gonna guess over 10, and probably 5 or 6 of them would have been intercept marks. It felt like he was having too big of an impact on the game for Caddy to be accountable on. I might be wrong there, but I felt like, and especially the type of forward that Caddy is, like you want him involved in the game, like moving up the field. And there was, but I think a lot of them would have been intercept marks. Like he would have had 5 or 6 intercept marks.
Yeah, you were very close. Yeah.
I think Caddy, like the type of forward he is, that's who you want moving up the field where he can to get his hands on the footy. And I think his kick to Dersma in the first quarter kind of summed that up. Like, he's not someone that you need inside 50. He's, same as Kako last week against Melbourne, like when he kicked it to him inside 50. He's someone who you just want having the footy more than he has. So, yeah, probably a bit of a quiet game, whether that was coaching, whether that was Caddy, but, you wanted him involved in that one.
Yeah, okay. I wonder if in that case he took himself up the ground in that one moment, or whether he has that license yet. I don't know, because last week he got up the ground more, didn't he?
Yeah, and he got the footy more, which I thought he played really well last week. And there was even one instance where he got the footy in this game, kind of in the centre square, and had no one to go to up the field, and had to just kind of go backwards, which happened a few times with the team because it felt like we weren't too focused on moving with absolute pace when we got a turnover, which is okay because Gold Coast aren't a team you can just give the football over to. So maybe the way the game played out didn't suit Caddy either.
Yeah, interesting to know. But do you think Edwards and May benefited from that in a way?
Yeah, I really liked Archer May. I'm liking
everyone's on board the train now. I love it. It's filling up.
Yeah, I'll admit, because I liked him before the mid-season draft. He's someone that I wanted us to get in that mid-season draft.
Interesting.
But when
why was he picked up? Like, sorry, just before you start, like what made him go undrafted to the age of 21?
Yeah, well, I didn't know him until last year, so I think maybe just a late bloomer. But he started playing really good waffle footy because he's originally Victorian. Moved over playing with Richmond, I think, moved over to Claremont or Subiaco and then started playing great footy. And that just happens with key position players too, just develop later. But at the start of this year, I had my doubts, like not as an overall prospect, but his short-term potential with the club and what he would be doing for us this year. But I just love what he does. Like even when he's not scoring and marking, just what he does to like bring the ball down. I love what the Max Gawn one last week to give that Sardis goal. Like he just does that so many times. As Scooter said, most tackles for the Bombers or for the game. Either way, awesome stuff. So, yeah, I guess you could say that they probably benefited from, Collins and Caddy's little battle because obviously Collins not only didn't have his hands full, but was benefiting from the way that the game was being played out himself. So, yeah, you could say it benefited, but did it help the team as much? I don't know.
True. Yeah, it's a good point. I guess we'll never know, but you're right. It was only a two goal game, so it may have been worth. Or here's the thing: like if it was 30, if we got to 30 points or 50 points, and it was starting to look out of control, maybe then they pull that lever. I don't know, or they just say get off, go for a jog.
Yeah, and to be fair, like that's not the reason we lost the game. We could have won that game in the last 5 minutes. And Caddy would still have had 4 or 5 disposals. Like it's not like we need him to win us games of footy or anything like that. Yeah. So maybe that was just the right thing to do. And Caddy was kind of sacrificed out of the game, either selflessly or by the team's directions. We don't know.
I have to ask before I let you go. Ridley, what did Ridley's absence do? And if he is out next week, how do we stay positive? Because, man, it feels like he's just the glue. Yeah,
it is annoying, isn't it? And it's also like just the fact that we've got these players who, like, hopefully Ridley is okay, and then hopefully he's playing next week. But even if he is, this is the second week in a row where we've kind of had to nurse a player through tightness because of their history. And obviously that's the right thing for the club to be doing. But, you know, being forced to do that, you know, so many times early into the season is not ideal. But, you know, warmer conditions and everything, so it was always going to be a bit tougher on players in a game like this, which was so, you know, so much running involved. And you clearly felt his absence when he came off. Like, just the ball use alone, I think, was the big one. Like, you know, throwing Merritt back there. Because I felt like, I love the kids and everything, but I felt like a big part of this game, kind of the tide turning towards Gold Coast, were some decisions being made out of the back half, which resulted into turnovers, especially with younger players sometimes, which is fine because they're young. So Ridley would have been perfect to have in that last quarter.
Yeah, you're right. I thought Langford was really important early on as well back there, just with his composure. He probably faded out of the game a little bit, but Zach Reed just looks so much better with Ridley by his side. Ben Mackay to an extent as well, but I still maintain that Ben Mackay's game against Hawthorn was exceptionally good and best on for us. But Zach Reed definitely looks more assured. How'd you see his game outside of the Ridley piece?
Yeah, I mean, neither of them really intercepted, which is like that was almost one of the big differences, is the fact that Sam Collins was down one end marking everything. I don't know if it's the updated, but I checked it late in the last quarter, and I think between them, both Mackay and Reed, they had 5 intercept possessions, which is probably the same amount of intercept marks that Collins had on his own. So,
it is, yeah.
Yeah, so you need more than that from your big key defenders. And King was always going to, you know, kick a few goals. That's just the way Gold Coast play. They play through him as their goal scoring option. So, you know, held to 3 is okay, but yeah, just not intercepting the footy enough was a big turning point in that game.
So if Ridley is out, who is coming for you? Who's the replacement?
Oh, geez.
I should just say, we'll just say that Matthew, how are you, Matthew? I was at the game and Ridley was walking fine onto the bus, looked dejected though, and didn't take any photos or sign anything. That's Ridley. I will say, let's not read into the look, because that he has a very dejected, just standard, nonchalant kind of look. That is just his standard look. But the photo, not taking any photos or signing anything for any kids, is probably not his personality. So that's a bit disappointing. But yeah, sorry, Felix, go ahead.
And also, to be fair, like he doesn't know the results yet either. Like if it's tightness that he's reported, I'm guessing himself, it would mean that he's unsure.
Yeah.
So we'll like he'll have to wait for results as well. So he's probably obviously stressing because of, you know, he's only just come back. I'm trying to. So I think is Jackson Pryor, because he didn't train last week.
He didn't.
All, right?
I was reassured that he was fine. It was purely precautionary and purely management. And then when I saw him on the emergency list, that tells me that it was purely precautionary and he could have played if all shit hit the fan and they all fell down in the warm-up or something. He would have been okay to play. So my gut would say that he's definitely up for being selected.
And if that's the case, it would have to be Pryor. I think I'd like to see Johnson play more, but it's just hard to kind of fit him alongside Farrow and Roberts in the same team. You need someone a bit more defensively stable, and that's Jackson Pryor.
Yeah, agreed. Actually, last thing before I want to get your opinion on Roberts, because I can't. It's again, this is the virtue of the fan cams, raw reactions. I can't get a read. I didn't get a read live on much of his impact.
Well, he touched the footy a lot, but it's one of those games where you get those touches and it doesn't feel like you're doing heaps with it. So, and there was also like he's always prone to mistakes, but there were quite a few in this game, it felt.
Yeah.
But like also, I think we've just got lofty standards now. Like this guy's been playing, like he doesn't get 40 disposals and a goal, and we're disappointed.
A goal from Victoria, yeah.
Yeah, if this was any other 20-year-old, we're probably hyping him up so much right now because, so that's something to remember. But like, can't be too disappointed.
Yeah, true, very true. Probably being a bit harsh and looking at it through the very high standards we have for him now. Well, if everybody will be well aware, but if anybody is not aware watching, everything Essendon is the place to be. That is where Felix drops all the top tier content on Essendon. He is also dropping equally top tier content on the draft channel. What's it called again? Top of my head.
Felix Winderlick, the footy nerd.
The footy nerd.
Yeah, the footy nerd.
Yep. Is Archie Buckler looking just as good as what I'm hearing?
He's up there. Yep. There's a few up there. I thought you were alluding to another one earlier in a Marlon Neocleus, who's a little.
Oh, how could I forget?
Small forward.
I want to draft him just for the name.
Yeah, he's fun. And if you want to partner to Isaac Kako, he'd be a really fun one.
Oh, now is he a pure small forward? Because Archie is kind of not a pure small forward, is he? He's the Tom Green mold. Oh, Toby Green mold, sorry. Is Neocleus kind of more of the pure small forward mold?
He is, but it's more that Nick Watson type who can run through the midfield as well. He plays a lot of midfield, gets up the ground, so it's not just kicking goals. He's pretty fun, Neocleus.
Ooh, and is he come from nowhere, or has he always been quite highly touted?
Nah, he had some big games last year, but has only just been added to the academy and has been performing really well. So he's probably going to get a fair bit of attention, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes early in the draft. Okay,
now, most importantly, do we know who he barracks for?
No, I'll find out.
Okay.
I'll find out.
Okay, there's your job for the week, all right?
Yeah, okay.
Felix Winderlich, the draft nerd, footy nerd.
Footy nerd, yeah.
Footy nerd. Sorry, my head is, I have brain fog. But most importantly, everything Essendon, go over there, hit the subscribe button and watch all the videos because absolute top class content from Felix. Thank you for joining in. And Norm, I did see your comment. How good does the Anzac Day Guernsey look behind Felix? Absolutely. It is beautiful. I don't have one. I'm not really a Guernsey gal. I love the design, but it's a bit masculine for me in my eyes. I love the poppy design. If it was a poppy, maybe I would get on it. But the design's fantastic. Felix, thanks for joining.
Thank you, Fiona. See you guys.
Catch ya. Bye, legend. How far away is Red Dog, Toph? He's about 4 weeks, I'd say, roughly, I think. Let's have a chat to 15th. Chris, is it?
Yep, it's Chris.
Good to see you again, Chris. How did you see that game?
Yeah, it was good, but still heartbroken. It's like wanted that win so bad. Yeah. But I'd said last week, didn't I? Like if we played like that against Melbourne, we play like that, we'd give like top teams sort of like a run for their money.
You're right. You were from memory. I think you were pretty confident that we would play that way, and we did. So well done, you. Because I don't think I had that belief.
Yeah, and yeah, we were always underdogs by everyone. Like because playing against Gold Coast up in the Gold Coast, no one ever wins up there, do they?
Well, rarely. I think they've got the chocolates mostly up there, but they are so used to the conditions that they play it very well. But they've got a lot of talent as well.
Yeah, I mean Geelong got hammered up there in the opening
round.
round.
Oh my God, you're right. They got killed, guys. How much, please, Atush, you're good on the stats. What they got killed, and we only lost by what was it? 8 points? 9 points?
9 points. Yeah, 9 points.
Are we giving ourselves enough credit? Ourselves enough credit for that? Geelong, who just killed the Bulldogs, and before the Bulldogs got all those injuries last night, but they just killed the Bulldogs. They got absolutely. You're checking, Atush. How much did Gold Coast beat Geelong by in opening round up there? Sorry, continue, Chris.
Yeah, and like I said, if we play like how we did against the Bulldogs second half against Melbourne, even today, I'm believing we'll beat Collingwood. I don't know about everyone else.
56 points, and this is Geelong we're talking about. Yeah, Geelong.
Yeah,
good shout, Chris.
They were grand finalists last year, Geelong.
Wait. Didn't Brisbane win
Yeah, but against the
Oh,
grand final last year, Geelong.
Yeah. Sorry, yes, you're right.
Geelong,
They were.
Brisbane. Yeah,
Yep, you're right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
so. You believe it? You're already believing ahead of next week?
Well, Collingwood just scraped through the line, beating Carlton last night. Yeah,
Yep.
and if it wasn't
Unconvincing.
for Nick Dacos, like the last quarter, or even that very last kick, I don't know that Carlton, I don't know what that Carlton's player's name is. Like he was about to kick either a goal to draw the game, but he kicked a point. Yeah.
Taylor Byrne, yep. Poor kid.
Yeah.
So that they could have so easily. Oh no, it would have drawn. Yeah, you're right. It would have drawn it. It wouldn't have lost the game. But still, it's Carlton. They're in the bottom four. Technically, Pies should be beating. No, sorry, that's not a drive by a tush. I'm so sorry. Don't yell at me. I mean it. We are bottom four too. You're in good company here. Essendon is bottom four. But
I think they're Carlton's above us by just 1%, 0.1%.
Okay.
Yeah. 0.1.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're all in the bottom. It's fine. It's so fine. Except Neil, you are correct. The performance was way better than a bottom four. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's why I said before in the comments. I don't think Dimmer would be, happy with their performance today. Like, he's always hard on us, and like they're aren't they expected to be sort of like in the top four this year? Like,
so true. So many people tip them to win the premiership too. Yeah. Great point.
Yeah, and to sort of like struggle to beat us, where like like second last, that's I expect him to be bit filthy on the result they put on today, for their star players,
It's a good point. They were probably missing Anderson. Are there any other kind of gun players that they're missing, chat? Anderson's obviously the obvious one, but Jamara is neither here nor there.
He hasn't played yet, hasn't he?
No, he hasn't played in the seniors yet, so you can't kind of classify him as one. But I think generally they had, a lot of their stars and main first selected team out there. So, just spot on, Chris.
Yeah, Humphreys came back in, and Bailey Humphreys, that's his name, yeah?
Yep, it is, yep.
Yeah. I don't know, did he really have an impact for him today?
I didn't feel like he did, but he's coming back off of a little long way off. So maybe he needs a game or two, but I don't think he hurt us as much as he could have. Yeah.
I thought it was sort of like everyone was going to be like, this game's going to easily be like, Gold Coast by at least 100. Ben King's going to kick so many goals, but he only kicked like 3 or
3. So in a way, that's probably good. I think I said against who was it? I think it was against Kangaroos. I said if we can keep Larky to 3, I'll be happy. And it's a bit like with Ben King. If you're keeping him to 3, he's probably good for where we are at. And after last night, and now I'm a bit worried. If we can keep Jeremy Cameron to maybe 6, I'll be happy because he's got the potential to do that to us too. That was scary.
Yeah. And we're playing him down
we are too.
Down there as well.
Oh no.
I don't want to think that much far ahead.
I know.
But I mean, like I said last week, I like our forwards, Edwards, May and Caddy. I know, just for some reason, I think it seems a little bit more controlled, cleaner compared to other times, like we've seen, like a typical Essendon all, just bomb the ball and kind of like hope for the best,
Yeah, I feel like they have a better ability to separate and and they're very good below their knees for especially Edwards and May, for big boys technically. Very good below their knees. So yeah, it looks more functional to me. It could be the entries, or it could be the forward craft, or the forward coach Cam Roberts going to work. It just looks a bit more functional to me.
Yeah, and Parrish again had another good game, which was where's he been like for the first 3 games?
This is his MO, I think, Chris. His MO.
Yeah.
He takes at least. Well, 2 years ago it was 6 games. This year it was 4 games, we'll say, before he found his feet. So
yeah, I think Saad El Houli, I think he got injured that last quarter, like in the forward, like
okay.
he went down and it was slow to get back up.
Oh, okay.
And he went onto the bench.
Okay. I think in the report that Essendon released, I think it was Jez who said that they've only listed Ridley as the injury. So hopefully that means that he and Edwards, that means I'm going to assume Edwards passed his concussion test if that's the case, because it was a direct.
We need him so bad.
It was an article straight from Essendon, so the official club account. So I'm going to take that as Edwards passed.
Yeah. If Edwards doesn't play, direct, how far off or how good is McMahon's form?
Yeah, he's fine. He played in the VFL in the game beforehand, but I'm on the Nick Cox train. I'm now committed to that scenario in my head. I think that could be a really good card to play for Anzac Day, and because he had a good game and he's been building and he's back to feeling some confidence in himself and in his body, and I think we could do worse. So, but my first preference is Edwards. So, universe, please.
Yeah, and good on Roby for kicking his 2 goals.
Absolutely. It was good to see him get the goals, and his reaction too were priceless. There's gonna be many more in his future, that's for sure. But thank you so much, Chris, for jumping on.
So what are we gonna do for Anzac Day when we win?
Oh man,
are we gonna keep this fan cams till when?
till midnight? We win. Yeah, that's right. Oh, sorry, I thought you meant when's the fan cams. The fan cams are going until we hold up a premiership flag, premiership cup. That's when they go. But the fan cams, midnight will be early. The last one, I was in bed at 2:30 a.m. So we'll go until we go. Thank you, Chris. Last, before I get you go, everyone wants to know what's on your wall.
That thing back there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a intercom, like.
It's not okay. Sorry, chat. Nothing interesting. We're interested in what's on people's walls in this community. So I had to ask you that question, but no offense, but that's not overly interesting. That's just part of the structure.
Yeah,
all good. Thank you, Chris, for jumping on and having a chat.
Okay,
catch up.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Luca, fun fact, our pressure rating was 189 for the game. That's an incredible full game output. Love that for us. Love that. Absolutely. Aurora, how are you? And Nick Martin is our heartbeat. Yeah, in a way. I do. I know. I miss Marto too. It still hurts that he's not going to be playing at all this year. Nothing said about the HIA. Okay. Well, I'm taking that as good news, although we know with concussion that it can be delayed symptoms. But if he passes the initial kind of test, hello, Joe. Classic AFL shenanigans. They unilaterally declare that Edwards has to be taken off the field, but they'll leave Elijah Holland out there for the whole game. Wow. Mic drop that shit. Joe, very good from you. Very good from you. And you're right. Wow. Carly in a chicken suit. It could be on. Taz, surely you believe now. Surely you believe. Who? Nick Martin? No, he redid it. He redid his ACL, the initial one. If he was coming back from the initial one, then yes. But no. Unfortunately. Let's talk about it, Atush. You're on mute.
That's not nice.
You're on mute.
Um,
Lovely.
First of all, how are you, Fiona? And Bomber Chat?
I am pretty good considering we lost. So that's always nice to lose but still feel okay. How are you? It's been a tough 24 hours for you being a Carlton supporter.
I want to die, but let's not talk about Carlton here.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Like your team this year.
Yeah, and then I watch Bomber Banter, like get my mind off, and then I get drive-bys, and then I'm here watching Carlton at bottom.
I know. How dare I? That's such bad hosting. You're here supporting me, and I'm giving Carlton drive-bys. I'm sorry. It was a low blow. You're right. Apologies.
Yeah. The whole Elijah thing's weird as, but that loss isn't a win. I mean, Gold Coast didn't win that. You guys won that.
Oh.
But honestly, I'll take that as a win. I take that as a win.
Yeah. I think in where we are in our trajectory, in our journey, if we can still get a good draft pick, but feel like we're technically winning games, here for it.
You're gonna win next week. I have no doubt in my mind, bro. You saw Collingwood against us. We're a bottom 4 side. We're shit. We're terrible, and they only just beat us. So, but you guys played incredible, bro. What did Brad Scott? What is it like? What happened with Brad Scott? I thought he was a shit coach.
Everybody told me he was too. I don't know. The penny dropped. I don't know.
No, but I remember watching you like towards the start of the season, and you guys were shit. It was like watching us. It was really similar to like watching us. Yeah, but worse. And now it's like I'm watching you, and you're so much better. How have another team leapfrogged Carlton already? How has that happened?
Yeah, I don't know. Can Michael Voss turn it around? I don't know. Maybe does that give Carlton inspiration?
Oh, true. True. Yeah, but Brad Scott was a good coach back in his day at like North.
That's true.
He was a good coach. He was, yeah.
Yeah, but wasn't it you who told me like 3 weeks ago on the fan cams that was a million years ago and I got to let it go?
Yeah.
Sure
I know. I agree. No, I agree. But like at least he was a good coach once upon a time. Voss has never been a good coach.
Yeah, okay.
So,
okay. Well,
yeah.
he doesn't. Yeah,
I was going to bring up
proven.
No, I was going to bring up Nick Martin. I was going to say when you guys make finals at the end of the year, he might come back.
Did you just say when we make finals? No, stop it. Now you're just talking us up. So then the crash is bad. This is where my mind goes.
Bro, you just almost beat Gold Coast at Gold Coast. That's like an unwinnable game for anyone.
Yeah, that's true. Chat, that is true. Community, that is very true.
That's probably the hardest away trip in footy, other than like the Gabba. That is the hardest trip in footy. Like I can't remember the last time a team's beaten them there.
Actually, yeah, that's a good. We should research that. Anybody bored in the chat want to research that? Who's the last team that beat Gold Coast in Gold Coast? Especially because I forgot that they were so revered this year. Like that, so many people tipped them to win the flag.
Yeah.
So that's
I had them on first on my ladder predictor. Like I had them as first, but they're probably the most offensive team in the comp, and you went punch for punch with them. You went blow for blow with them. Like it was an entertaining game. You both scored over 100. When was the last time Essendon scored over 100 points? Other than last week.
Last year, definitely, and we only did it like not convincingly as well last year. Definitely. Yeah, Sam, you've got a good point. Yeah, GMHBA. Yeah, I think Bulldogs would agree with that too. And we routinely get smacked down there. When's the last time Carlton played Geelong down there?
It was 2017 and we won.
You haven't played there since. So why do we have to go there? Collingwood don't go there either. Why is Essendon getting sent down there 2 years in a row?
We're just a big club.
Yeah,
we also actually we played them in 2020 and we also beat them there too. We just win there all the time. That's why I don't think it's a hard trip. There's a bunch of teams that go there and upset Geelong all the time.
Yeah, that's interesting. You match up well against Geelong. Interesting.
Yeah, for no reason. There's actually I can't even tell you why we always beat them. Like it's just
At least you have that. At least you have that. Geelong are an incredible outfit in general. So at least you can have that.
Yeah, I don't rate Geelong. I don't like them. They're shit. They only beat the Bulldogs because Sam Darcy went out. But
Rubbish.
bro,
Rubbish.
oh, wait, Geelong's your second team, yeah?
Yeah, but I also can look through it without bias, and I can say that they are a good team and a good club, even without my bias.
Yeah, if you play them, you beat them.
It's objective. No, we are getting absolutely cooked in that game. That's just a fact. That's happening, definitely.
Bro, what's this, bro? You guys just almost beat Gold Coast, and then you won last week. You gotta hide. You gotta ride the highs. You have to ride the highs. But I'm watching your young players. I'm watching your young players actually buy into the game plan. You know what the biggest difference was between watching Carlton on Thursday and Essendon? Because we're supposed to be similar clubs, right? I can watch you guys, and I know what you're trying to do. Like, you have two styles of footy, and the fact you can switch between them as such a young team is incredible. You can go from, like, uncontested mark to mark to playing fast style of footy. We can't do that. And we're
this is
supposed
very
to be...
new. We can only. This is two weeks old. Like, we can only do this now. I didn't know that we had the ability to switch between methods and do it and actually do it effectively. We've never done that before. Yeah. This is new era.
Okay, even if it's new, look at the two teams you played against so far, and it's worked. Melbourne, who aren't shit. Melbourne are very good. I have them as Smokies for top 8. Like, I think if a team from the bottom 10 makes up there, it'll be Melbourne. And then Gold Coast, who I think are the best team in the comp. They're the most talented list in the comp. Look at their midfield, bro. And you guys held up against them.
It's true.
You won the midfield battle, didn't you? You won clearances.
We did win clearances, but as Felix pointed out, we just didn't use the ball. We weren't as efficient with our clearances and didn't put enough score to match our clearance domination from centre bounce as Gold Coast were. And Marie coming through with the facts again. Apparently, we were the last team to win against Gold Coast at their home ground in round 6, 2025. No, we didn't. Last year.
There's no fucking way. Wait, let me check.
Maybe 2024. Have you got the year wrong there? Because it kind of sounds right, but the year maybe sounds wrong. Because
round 6.
Unless I'm dreaming, unless I've blanked out, maybe. Something about it sounds right.
Nah, well, 2024 you played Adelaide in round 6. 2025 you played West Coast in round 6. So maybe it's 2015.
That's a long way back.
Maybe it's that.
Okay. Right. All right, Henry coming through. You can only like Geelong if you don't live there. Most annoying fans other than Collingwood. Are they really?
That's so true. That's so fucking true.
I find them so inoffensive. Like, so inoffensive.
That's what annoys me.
They just win.
That's what annoys me. Like, they win and they're not even grateful, bro. Like, I'd kill for my club to be good for 10 years, bro. Like...
It's so true. They feel nothing. I feel like they feel nothing. It's just like, And it's kind of, that part's annoying. But they don't know any better. That's just their state of being. We can't blame them.
Like I watched the Hoops crew. They have like their fan cams too, and when they beat Hawthorn, I'm watching them. Yeah, shout out. I'm watching them like complain. When they lost against Hawthorn, I'm watching them complain. I'm like, bro, you guys won fucking 10 flags in the last 20 years. I don't want to hear shit. Like,
I know.
I don't want to hear anything.
Yeah. Sunstripe is right, like incredibly spoiled children, yeah. And it goes to, that brings me back to, does anybody remember when they were in their three-peat with Gary Ablett Jr. still playing and James Kelly 1 week after they won their like 15th game in a row, in the room singing the song afterwards, they're singing the song and he puts his head on Gary Ablett pretending to sleep and going,
oh yeah,
as if he's bored singing the song. And I just think that arrogance is like top tier. Imagine being able to do that. Wow. Neither one of us know what that's like in any sense. Oh, Gwenda. Adelaide beat Gold Coast last year in July. Okay. Oh, wow. Marie, you got caught up with AI. Yeah. AI will lead you down bad paths. Stay away from AI. That's my opinion.
You have to pay for it if you want it to be good. You have to pay for ChatGPT Pro. It's like $15 a month. Then it's good.
Really? So I'm interested to see anybody who has that, the Pro. I want you to put in the same question into AI and see it gives you a different answer. I bet it wouldn't.
Let me do it. Last time
I bet it wouldn't.
Gold Coast lost in Gold Coast.
Just ask Catman why they lose. Yeah, I don't know
Fucking
how
Catman. That guy scares
Yeah.
me, bro.
Yeah, he scares me too. I'm glad he lives
like,
in Geelong and I don't live there.
Yeah, but I've been held at knife point before, and if I had to choose between knife point and Catman, I'm picking the knife 9 times out of 10. Like, genuinely, he scares me.
Right.
Round
see,
17.
Our last win at People First Stadium was in 2021 against North Melbourne. Oh, that was the COVID years, I would imagine, surely.
Oh, yeah.
So that kind of doesn't count in my head.
So I searched it up. It's
Yeah.
it gave me this answer. Round 17, 2023, Gold Coast versus Collingwood. Collingwood won by 78 points, but that's when Gold Coast was shit, though.
Well, that's wrong too, because
Yeah.
Gwenda confirmed that Adelaide beat there. So, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. Jade, you're at the airport. I imagine you had a very good time, didn't you, at the game? Claude is much better. Who exactly is Claude? I don't know who you're referring to. In the bubble, yes, in the hubs, in the bubble. Love that. In the hubs. Yep.
This comment from Sean. Have you seen this video?
Where? Which one?
The most recent.
Catman meeting Catwoman in Geelong was the weirdest shit I've ever seen. Oh my God, how have I not seen that? There is a Catwoman as well. I mean, of course, there should be a Catwoman. I'm offended that there hasn't been a woman representative to challenge him. But yeah, that sounds weird. Someone's going to have to send that to me. Sunstripe. I have a lot of family in Torquay and Geelong, and Geelong players, ex-players own everything. Oh yeah, don't they own all the pubs and all the restaurants?
Yeah, it's in their contracts because they get paid $4 a month or something from Geelong, and they get property and shit. So,
and farms and cattle and all of that. Everyone forgets Geelong played 8 games a year on cricket pitch, AFL game, massive advantage. As in GMHBA is the cricket pitch, I'm assuming.
8 games a year there. Wow, really? They play 8 games a year at GMHBA?
Yeah. We should complain more about that. Claude was on Arsenal Fan TV and went viral over countless interviews, but passed away a few years. Oh, that's a bit sad. What? Are you having me on? Because now I'm being told Claude is an AI.
What's going on?
How did we get from... Wow. You got me mourning for a potential soccer fan to no, Claude is a robot. Wow. Okay.
Claude is the guy. Claude is the guy. I'm pretty sure he's the guy. You know that meme where it's like it's time to go? It's like a bunch of Arsenal supporters. No? Really, Fiona? Really?
Look, I'm a bit dense in the
Amish community.
Stop it. Don't you jump on, Moby. See what you started? Yeah, we don't have TVs or computers or phones in the Amish community, so I couldn't. No way I could have seen that. Yeah. Catman lives in Harcourt, not Geelong. Oh, okay. Technicalities. Okay. Watch it now on screen. Just need to wash your eyes out after. It's on YouTube and Insta. Oh no, I might not. Will I get cancelled for doing that? I'm already being threatened. I don't want to be threatened from another cat fraternity or something like that. Contract outside the cap, cheats. Yeah.
Cheats. Yeah.
Oh look, I don't think I don't agree with that, but
the contract cheats. They are.
Look, I don't think they're good because of the 8 games at GMHBA and all that. I don't know.
Nah, GMHBA doesn't make that much of a difference. But like the way that they get around the salary cap, we did it and we got fucking smashed for 3 years. No draft picks, nothing.
Yeah, but you didn't hide it as well, did you? Clearly.
Well, that's not the point, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. It's really not. But they're clearly, it's in the media. It's very public. So it's clearly all above board, right?
No, it's not public. Nah, it's all loophole shit, bro. I don't fuck with that. Sorry for swearing. Sorry.
Well, it is. Loophole is a loophole. If the loop is there to be polled, then you jump through that loophole. That's how I see it.
Well, like the AFL should not allow loops in the first place, but they're a fucking shameful organization that let Elijah Hollands run out and play a full game of AFL on Thursday. Can I just clear that up? Can I talk about that for a second?
Yeah,
There was some stuff in the chat. It was a mental health episode. It wasn't drugs. Like he gets, I'm sure all AFL players get drug tested, alcohol tested before games. I'm sure he, like specifically him, will be tested more than any other player, given his history, right? The fact that he went out there, so 24 hours before the game, Fiona, he complained to the club that he couldn't sleep, right? Couldn't sleep. So they were testing his heart rate. That his heart rate monitored for like 24 hours before the game, and it was elevated. Right, it was elevated. Now, apparently, he did some tests and like made it through whatever. You could see there's clips on social media right now of him walking down the ramp on the Carlton page, on the official Carlton page. Bro, he's not right. You can tell he's not right. All the players around him. There's people up in level 4 pre-game that could tell he wasn't right. And the fact that we let him out there, not for like 5 or 10 minutes, 3 fucking quarters he played. 3 quarters of AFL football he played, and he was, bro. Like I was there at the game. And I don't know anything was wrong with him. I'm looking at him. Everyone around me is laughing because, I was like, what the fuck is he doing? But, like, after the news came out, bro, like, I was heartbroken for the kid. Like, how? And he came out afterwards, and apparently he was inconsolable. That's what Michael Voss said. He's inconsolable in the rooms afterward. He's like, I've let the club down. I've let players down. Like, bro, you didn't let anyone down. We as an organization let you down.
Is this true?
The fact that you were allowed. That's like housewife murmurs, bro. Like that's on Twitter. That started on Twitter. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
there's so much bullshit floating around. Like it's important because this is a person.
I don't like it. Yeah, and I don't like the lack of empathy and compassion immediately afterwards when the footage was all over social media, and that was so clearly someone in pain and suffering so extraordinarily, and the pile on just assuming what it was, but the people just calling him out for being this or that, or my heart was breaking, honestly, when it was clearly someone who was suffering. So I felt very triggered by the reaction from, no offense, but Carlton fans mainly, but other AFL fans as well. It was,
No, we're fucking disgusted. We're some of our supporters, bro. Like I know we're a very big club, and I'm sure you get this as well. But because we are such a big club, there's more fucking idiots per square meter. I don't think like Carlton fans are more dumber than regular fans, but like because there's so many of us, there's just it's a bigger
quantity.
average.
It's quantity. Yeah.
Right, but like some of these guys were like, I'm reading comments calling him a junkie, and like you have no evidence that he's relapsed, zero at all. Like the kid's done work and he's made it back, and he is one of our best players, by the way. It's not even a debate. He is top 5 most important players at the club when he's on. Right, that is why we re-signed him. You don't re-sign someone that's gone to rehab for no reason, especially a club like us. So, man, bro, like it breaks my heart. Some of the shit I've read online and stuff. Like some of these people have no idea, out of zero experience with drugs and what it does to people, what it does to family, and it's a bigger issue. It's not just footy now, right? This goes beyond Elijah, and it goes into like the men's mental health round, right? Like you look at the Dawson family. I think it was this week, and then Elijah the very next day. Like, bro, this is a fucking issue. It's an issue, and then the same people that advocate for the men's mental health round are the same people giving Elijah shit on Twitter. They're the exact same people.
That's the worst part about it. That's the worst part about it, because they're the first to jump on his back and the first to hide behind aliases on social media and troll and call people out. So, yeah, I mean, Moby, you're right. You're right about this. You're talking to EFC. Tell us about the media and other fans hitting you up about drugs. Yep. We are absolutely all, we know what it feels like completely, more than most. And you're right. Like Carlton were always going to cop it, and rightly so. In fairness, you should be copping it for the negligence, because I think even when the facts do come out and whatever happened, I still think they were negligent in his welfare personally. So anyway, we hope sending all the good energy and just huge amounts of love his way, and I hope he's being kind of watched and taken care of, because that's all he needs right now. Everything else is mute. So
yeah, spot on.
All right, legend, thanks so much for joining.
All good.
As always, love your contribution. Thank you for being in this community. We love you.
Up the Bombers. I'll see you guys in finals in September. I'll get a Bombers membership if that happens, and then we'll go to a game together.
You're on. You're absolutely on. Catcher. Little does he know I'm going to buy him an Essendon membership anyway, because we're not making finals, but he's getting the membership anyway. All right, let's have a chat to Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hello, can you
Try again.
hear me? All good?
Oh,
Is my voice coming through?
It's a bit shaky, but I think we'll see how we go.
Right,
Or
stop.
not. Or not. Okay. Maybe not. All right, Joe. How about you get to your destination and then
How are you feeling?
log back on, because sorry, Joe, you're dropping out your audio. Get to your destination and then jump back on. In the meantime, let's have a chat to Jonathan. Hello.
Hi, Fiona. You can hear me?
I can hear you. How are you?
Yeah, good. The StreamYard blurs are working really well for me today.
What is it not going? Can you not see me or hear me?
I can see you. You can see. Can you see the bluey light in my background?
Oh, I can see your entire background, the keyboard, the bluey,
Yeah.
all of it.
I was saying that normally the blur settings working well for me today. Obviously,
Oh,
kick
I
in.
see what you're saying. Well, don't worry. This chat loves a background, loves to dissect a background, so you're all good.
So I had a few things I wanted to mention, but thanks for having me on again. I love Greg's comments. I think Greg, the fellow that was in his den, that was really insightful.
Yep.
What was what did Gary Lyon say? Because you've raised that a few times, and I wasn't sure what he actually said.
It wasn't anything specific in terms of Essendon or Bomber Banter. It was more he had a go at content creators in the media, fan content creators who now have a microphone and a platform and evidently power across, he believes they have power to sway clubs and sway fans. And he doesn't like that old age media is getting kind of overtaken by new age media, because now there's choice and fans can actually choose to listen to whatever they want and get their news and their content wherever they want. So, and more fans are trusting new age media and fan created content because it's more personable. It's, honest and people are turning away from.
Was this on the TV or the radio? Did he say this? What show was this on?
I feel like there's footage of it. So in fact, I know there's footage of him saying it. I don't know, would have been on one of his platforms, Fox Footy or whatever show.
So the irony of that is, I remember years and years and years ago driving in you watch footy on a Thursday or a Friday night. Okay, AFL 360. I watch footy on a Thursday or Friday night, and I hear BT and Luke Darcy and whoever else, and then I turn on Triple M the next day, and I hear the exact same people, and then you watch the footy on Saturday night, and then you'll hear maybe two different people, and then you'll turn on 3AW, and you'll hear the exact same people that you heard commentating on. So there was a time, and I mean that time still exists, where in traditional media you had literally the same 5 to 10 people commentating on radio, on TV, on the 360 and on the couch programs. So it's quite ironic that he's bemoaning the lack of control of this media space, this commentary space, when it was such a closed shop. Like, who was the last commentator that came around even in the last 20 years? I think maybe Matt Hill, who came from horse racing. Like, there's been such little fresh blood in that space for so long.
Yeah, you're spot on. And it's also it's been threatened by what old age media are putting out, and they're having to be accountable now for the rhetoric that they put out and be accountable for the clickbait bullshit that they often put out. So I only think it's a positive, and it's not a situation. The part that I find hard to absorb is that it's not a situation where there's enough for everybody. That's how I kind of see it. Fans are going to pick and choose, and many fans are going to tune into more than one media stream or more than one place to get their footy fix. So I just think it showed a lack of, it showed his insecurity in a way, because
it's funny that I mean, so his actual comment was around on AFL 360. I haven't seen a clip. Maybe if someone in the chat can post a clip, I can refresh on what he actually said. So he was actually having a go at fan creators and podcasters. That's
particularly
bizarre.
specifically in regards to Carlton. He was alluding. He didn't mention by names, but he was alluding to, the big content creators like Dan Gorridge and Blue Broad that they're potentially going to.
Okay.
They're getting on their microphones and yelling "Sack Voss, sack Voss, sack Voss," and he was getting behind Voss as if. The irony for me is that, like, how much clickbaity stuff do they put out to get? How much pressure do they put on coaches and players with their reporting and their microscopic reporting on players and coaches?
I don't see Dan Gorringe as a authentic fan voice. So he's an ex-AFL player, right? He played for a few years in senior footy. I believe so. He played for the Suns, didn't he? Yeah.
He did. And then
so
Carlton.
I don't think he's an authentic fan voice. I think he's a media sponsored commentator. If he's getting paid, like he gets sponsorship, and if he's not making money doing that, he's like a kind of corporate up person. Like he's getting money, say, hey Dan, here's some money, start a podcast. We've got advertisers lined up for you. Make it sensational. He's like a breakfast radio guy. He's like a Favola. Like he's trying to drive sensationalism. He's trying to drive hype and clicks and this kind of thing, because he's not like you or like Scooter or someone who he's just going to get on the mic and he just wants to chat about things that he's interested in. Like if Dan Gorringe isn't getting money to do his radio show, the radio show stops this in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's an authentic voice. But that aside, I wanted to actually talk about a few other things. Like I'm not a game analyst. Like, you're very good at that. Greg's good at that. There's a lot of other people. But I wanted to ask a few questions. So tell me if I'm not trying to be negative on these people. I just want to ask some questions.
Okay.
Is Elijah Sada slow as a player? Is he kind of like a slow midfielder?
Yeah, I would say he's probably one-paced. Yeah.
When we got him, he was meant to be fast, wasn't he?
I don't know that his skill set was pace. Was it? Maybe maybe he's pretty quick off one. His first 3 steps are quite quick, but he's not like a.
Did he get a foot injury or something after we drafted him and he became slow? Because I remember when we got him, it was like this guy like breaks away from packs, like he's a super silky fast. I'm just surprised because when I see him play, he seems kind of like ploddy. Like the other week when I wanted to talk a little bit about the Gold Coast game. There was a time when Merritt tackled Keziah Pickett, and it was like someone picked up a remote and put Merritt into fast forward. Like Keziah Pickett's running, and then Merritt's just like like double paced.
I think I know what you're talking about. I never actually see Elijah Sardis at full pace, but when he doesn't have the ball, ever. And I just don't know if he doesn't have that in him, because even Darcy Parish in the last couple of weeks, anyway, in the last handful of weeks, without the ball on the spread, I've seen him. He's not by any means fast, but he's at his top pace. I don't know if Elijah's got to his top pace quite as yet.
I just don't quite get it, because
I could be wrong. We could be wrong. Maybe there's some stats or kind of the monitors that they have in their back would say differently, but you're right, Prodigy. Burst from stoppage speed. Yeah, the first 1 to 2 steps, the first 3 steps.
Does he have that though? Because I don't notice it yet.
Well, have we seen? Yeah, I think I've seen it in the VFL recently in some of his VFL games. Maybe not so much over the last couple of games, but because he's been using the ball more by hand. So, yeah.
I'm really encouraged that he's in the team in the role that he's good in. I'm like totally not sold that he's one of our best midfielders at all, but I'm happy that he's in the team, and I'm happy that he's got the opportunity to actually develop at this point to do what he's good at and become better at what he's good at. And whether he re-signs with us or whether we get a swap for him or whatever happens, I think this is totally the thing that should be happening. And so from that point of view, I think it's like, I'm satisfied to see what can he give us.
Yeah, Well, either way, I think we're gonna get some evidence. Either way.
I wanted to ask you a couple other things about
Yeah.
so on Gold Coast. I actually I watched that replay. No, sorry, not Gold Coast, Melbourne. I
Melbourne.
meant the Melbourne game. I watched that a couple of times, like you probably did.
You did. I did.
I felt like Archer Day Wicks was underrated. Like his impact, right, was significant in that game, and I felt like Parrish's, on the other hand, was kind of like overrated. Like I felt like Parrish did his job, but I didn't feel like he actually was like doing hard stuff. Whereas Day Wicks whereas this week, I felt like Parrish actually played like a lot better against the Gold Coast. I felt like he was actually making impact beyond like his capabilities. And I think when we're watching a game visually, sometimes we're judging players against what we know they're capable of. And that's why I think watching Merritt a lot of the times, we don't really give him, he's like really, if you had someone who's neutral who was going to watch an Essendon game who didn't know anything, Zach Merritt would stand out as being like, that guy's really good. That guy, that little guy you got there, wherever he goes, he's really good. And sometimes we don't give Zach the plaudits. So anyway, last week I thought Day Wicks was good, really good, and Parrish this week I felt like he actually was even better, and that's in line with your Parrish 6-week theory. But
it is. I'm glad you're keeping track of that, Jonathan.
Yeah. I don't always get onto like to watch the fan cams live, but I try to sort of watch the replay when I'm brushing my teeth or something.
Oh, nice.
Listen. I got caught in biscuit cam for about an hour one week, and I was not sure what I was actually watching.
I know we take some detours on this show, and I'm here for it because life is too short, and sometimes we're going to be a bit dumb and fun and go off topic.
What how are you finding daylight savings, by the way? Because I think that when you started this, it was beautiful, sunny outside, and like how's daylight savings hitting you, or the absence of daylight savings?
Yeah, I haven't really noticed it too much yet. I haven't noticed a impact to my general living life. But maybe once it gets colder. Oh, really?
Maybe we can have a chat about that with chat. But yeah, no, I actually find like because the day starts to get dark a lot earlier, it's like mentally you're like, oh, that's the end of the day now. Okay. Whereas previously, if it's like 7 or 8 and it's still light outside, you're like, I can still do stuff. Like I can still get stuff done.
True.
Whereas now, if it's like 4:30, 5 o'clock, it gets dark. You're like, oh, okay, that's it. That's it for the day.
I think once it gets colder, I think that's when it's gonna hit. Yeah.
So last thing I wanted to talk about,
I
wanted to throw some. Actually, I'm gonna take one more emotional detour. So last week when we played Melbourne and we won, it hit me emotionally in a way that Essendon wins haven't hit me, quite in a different way. Like last week, I was like kind of emotional when we won that game. And I was thinking, it made me think about when I was a kid in the 1990s watching the Socceroos play off against Iran. We played against Iran quite a few times, and there was a significant game. I think it was 96 or 97, and we were 2 goals up and playing in Melbourne, and we lost this game, and we should have played the World Cup. And it happened so many times. And then when we stood in line in 2006, and we had Harry Kewell and Viduka and Tim Cahill, I was like emotionally like shaking, and I was screaming when we scored a goal against Japan. I remember I'm at my mum's place, obviously still living with my mum, and I'm screaming at 2 o'clock in the morning in this way that's just like uncontrolled. And I actually started having premonitions. I told you seeing us in that red jumper and feeling those feelings, like there was something different, thinking like, I'm starting to see like visions of success with this red jumper. I'm starting to get these like sort of imaginations of these young guys like Farrow and Archie Roberts. Like I'm seeing them in a prelim, and I'm seeing that red jumper as well. Like, are you on that wavelength at all, or am I going crazy?
Look, I'm here for your experience, but I definitely have connected to the fact that it felt very different in terms of we won last year, but none of the wins last year felt like this one. This was a full 360 win in terms of tick, 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 tick. Whereas last year, either in some of our good wins, we were either, the opposing team made a late comeback and we dropped right off, or there was something that was just off about the wins, and we just kind of felt a relief. We got the 4 points.
It was like a dirty 4 points. You're just like, I didn't like it, but I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah, fluky. It didn't feel wholesome. This felt completely and utterly wholesome. And I think a big part of it was that it was 23 contributions. Some a bit better than others, but generally they were all at a 5 or above, and most kind of above. So yeah, it was a great day in the coach's box as well.
That it was.
Yeah, it was an all-round wholesome win.
And that comes to my last point. You're spot on there. And this is something that you and Scooter called out in your preview of the Melbourne game. And I don't know if it was you or Scott. You've said Andy McGrath needs to tag because I pick it. He needs to stay with him. He needs to close him down. And he did that last week. And I felt so happy this week to see him lining up on Matt Rowell. And it gave me clarity on something that I felt really I felt a lack of cleanliness about Andy McGrath. What is he in this team? He's not really a midfielder. He's not really a defender. Like when he was shutting down Charlie Cameron and playing this role on small defenders, it's like, yeah, like that's okay, but can we get more out of you? Like, it's that all? Like, like Jake Kelly was really good at that role too, but he wasn't going to keep a AFL career going just being good at that one thing. And seeing him do that role last week, and even seeing him this week, and he didn't kill Matt Rowell this week, but that's okay. But seeing Andy McGrath do that, I had some clarity on like, this is the rest of your career now. You need to become like a Cameron Ling. You need to become a Cameron Ling level of defensive stopper.
Who could forget the big Linger was a tagger?
Who stops the opposition's best player, who's one of your team's most significant contributors, even if you're not like kicking heaps of goals and like getting heaps of possessions, you're playing like a massive role in it. And this is something Setterfield started to get good at for us like a couple of years ago, I think. And we've had sort of cameos at people doing this over the years. Like was it a guy called like Dylan Clark or something who did this once on Patrick Cripps?
He
going
did.
back many years.
Wow, that's a flashback. He did.
Yeah,
it was
and he even made it onto Matty Lloyd Access All Areas with that other spud, Damien Barrett. Not other spud, because obviously Lloyd's not a spud, but Barrett is. But
we know what you mean. Yep.
So I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, now I'm going to hit you with some names. Bomber Thompson, Mark Harvey, Mark McCurry, Cale Hooker, Jobe Watson, Paul Salmon, Mark McVeigh, Joe Mercedes, Darren Buick, Gary O'Donnell. What do all these names have in common?
I don't know.
They're all bloody good players who played 200 games for the Essendon Football Club.
Yep.
And Andy McGrath, at this point, he's going to play 200. He's going to get to his 200 games, I think, within the next 2 or 3 years. So I think he's going to get 150 later this year. And he's on track to get 200. Like, there's no question he's going to be a 200-game player.
Yeah.
He doesn't belong on that list of players, of 200-game Bomber players, unless he can now rise to have a like significant defining role as a player, because up to this point in his career, he's been a mediocre like individual player. He hasn't really like defined himself. He hasn't done anything significant where you'd go, oh yeah, well, I remember Andy McGrath, like, oh, of course, like we remember all these guys like Bomber Thompson, even other guys like Paul Salmon, even, I guess there's a few guys that are not like huge names on that list. Zaharakis was a best and fairest. He was actually he was never All-Australian, but every other name on that list is a big name.
Yep.
All captains. McGrath needs to step up. He needs to be, and I know I'm not reading chat at the moment, so maybe I'm getting a lot of heat. I don't know because I'm not reading chat. I'm just
you're just getting gems like Sunstripe says. That's offensive to the humble potato. He's more like a leech.
This is
on your spot comment, so that's very
so
good.
with Andy McGrath, Andy, I'm putting this challenge out to you. You're at the back half of your career now. You've been in the system. This is your 10th year in the system, including your draft year. You've still got 2, 3, 4 years of like good footy ahead of you, and then we don't know. But this is a guy who's like physically in good nick. He's been durable. He
So
hasn't
durable.
he hasn't done a lot as a player, and this is what he needs to be now as a player. He needs to become a defensive midfielder who makes a significant impact and contributes to the team in that way, because he ain't a defender. He ain't a like running midfielder like a Zach Merritt or a Darcy Parish. His disposal is mediocre, and he needs to do something in his career at an individual level to have significance when he closes his career and becomes he could even be a 250 game player, Fiona. Okay. How
He's
many
only
years is
26.
he's definitely a 250 game player.
Yep.
Now I'm going to give you those names:
durable.
Zach Merritt, James Hurd, Scott Lucas, Matthew Lloyd, Terry Danaher, Simon Madden, Tim Watson. He's not getting on that list. Dustin Fletcher, obviously. He shouldn't get on that list. He needs to do this, what he's doing the last few weeks, make this his thing. That's what I'm feeling.
Well, I think it's safe to say that Josh Dunkley sets the bar in terms of, playing that defensive mid role, but also offensively being so proficient in the game. He's the benchmark going round. So I think if they're the vibes, and this is now where we're going with Andy McGrath and his future, and I dare say I think it is, and I think he's got to stay there. You're right. That's the legacy he can potentially leave on this group now. And I do like the Cameron Ling comparison as well, but the Josh Dunkley, Cameron Ling kind of, that's what you're going for. He has, can he offensively hurt us going forward like a Josh Dunkley? Probably not. But yeah, I think now he's found his spot. So in saying that, who does he take next week in the midfield?
There's always a good player in it. I mean, next week, does he take a Nick Dacos or a Josh Dacos? Does he take? There's significant players in that Collingwood team. Obviously, Nick Dacos is almost untaggable, but so what? So was like at some point Cripps was that good, Gary Ablett Jr. was that good, but people like Cameron Ling would have still played on him. Joe Watson was that good. People still tried to shut him down.
You still can halve their impact.
Yeah.
If they're generally gonna give you 100% impact, if you can minimize that impact, just like we would have done today with Rao, if he doesn't do that, it's a 50-point loss. So I definitely think he has, and Jez, I think it was Jez who said in the chat, but I think you're spot on, Jez. I reckon he really has grown in the last 2 weeks. I think he's from a spiritual, I'm talking spiritually, it feels real, and it feels like a turning point, dare I say, for Andy McGrath's career.
Turning point, yes.
Well
turning
done.
point AUS. Turning point ESS.
Love it. Well done, Jonathan. That was highly entertaining. And members, if you chat and Bomber Banter community, if you don't know, and if you're not a member, Jonathan and I did a bit of a deep dive into AA selections and AA teams that hold many AA All-Australian players, and the link between first draft picks and AA selections, and how that all tees up and links up. And we dissected some of the data, didn't we, and analysed the data to see which teams have got it right over the years and which teams haven't. So if you're a member, you got to enjoy that. It was a lot of great feedback. So if you want to become a member, the link is in the chat. You can check all that content out and more. But thank you, Jonathan, for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Fiona. Thanks so much for having me. And also, I enjoyed getting fired up, because normally I'm just sort of screaming at my TV. But I like the chance to sort of shout, instead of shouting into the void, shouting into the YouTube community void. But also, I just want to also say, like, you've done such a brilliant job of putting together a community of voices that don't get heard. And, guys that we're seeing like Felix and Hearing these guys, there's so much insight and so much quality. The signal to noise ratio is just brilliant, and I wanted to give you credit for creating that yourself, really out of nothing. And congratulations to you.
Thank you, Jonathan. It's always never really been about me. It's about exactly what you said, finding voices and giving voices to people who don't feel seen in their ordinary life or have a lot more to give than what people in their life give them credit for. And from it has come such an incredible community. You are part of it as well. So, and just Greg from Thailand the other night, just going bang with his insights, and Greg, who joined us from his den, Noel, and everybody else in this community. Everyone has something very valuable to give. And if it's not prime analytics, it's entertainment as well. And I guess I said, life sometimes often is very hard and challenging, and we all have really, really horrific days sometimes, and sometimes it's nice just to be in a community that's dumb and fun, and sometimes insightful, sometimes analytical, but generally just good, safe vibe. So thank you so much, Jonathan. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye, Fiona. See you.
Catcha. Bye. Yes, it absolutely was, Moby, 100%. All right, let's have a chat to Webby in the UK. Hello, Webby.
All right. How did we not win that game? Oh my God, we were so good in that match. Kako, Hellfire, Tommy Edwards, absolutely amazing. But how did that fall so downhill from there? Well, turns out the better team lost, and that was the Bombers.
Yeah, so, very well said.
Yeah, gutted.
Yeah, the better team lost, although Gold Coast were very good, but we were good too.
I mean, ever since the second half of the Footscray match, everything has just been amazing. I mean, last week against Melbourne Demons, we're absolutely on it. I mean, that's the best game I've seen under Brad Scott. At least one of them, anyway. But probably since either Melbourne last year at Gather Round, ironically, and probably I'd say Collingwood 2024. That was probably the only good game I had that year, but that was a great game. But and on to the day, even better. I think it's even better than the Melbourne match. But how we lost it just astounds me. It really does.
Yeah, I think it was in a way better because, well, we didn't win, but it was better quality opponent this week, and it was just nice to see us be in the game and have the game there for the taking, if not for a bit of class and polish, right?
Also, a little bit of a jokey question. Do you think we would want to have red shorts? Never mind not the red top, but just the red shorts.
I don't like the red shorts, how they look, but I'm happy to get on board.
Come on, they're amazing.
I know. I am on my own on this. I acknowledge that, and I'm not holding anybody against it, and I'm happy for us to wear them.
That's why I just go a little bit off topic. Soccer and that analogy. I'm going to bring in Bill Shankly. Bill Shankly was a Liverpool manager in the '60s, and he made his Liverpool side wear red shirts, red shorts, and red socks. All in that age to become successful, because these all red. There's a very dominating colour, and if you play well in the colour red, then you're on for big things, because red is a psychologically intimidating colour. It strikes fear into the opposition. That's probably why Essendon won last week.
Okay.
And since then, Liverpool have gone to become the biggest club in world football, all because of that psychological change put in place in the kit by the legend that is Bill Shankly. So, and on to Essendon. If we wear all red for away matches every week, could that change into something a lot more successful? Because we've got some good players. We've got Kako. Peter Rice finding his old form again. Who else we got? I think did I see news that Ridley's injured? Or have I misheard it?
Potentially has a calf, but we'll wait and see on the scans. He's going for scans. They'll fly back tonight, and then he'll probably be sent for scans tomorrow, Sunday, here. So,
oh no, we've had enough of that last year, haven't we? I do not want another injury crisis.
I know we have, and he has had enough of the bad luck. Poor old Rids.
Yeah, Ridley, he is a good player, isn't he? We've got so much potential that could just go on to be used to help us win a few finals and even the Premiership. That's how good we are at the moment. But
all right, we've come a long way in 5 weeks, man. How are we even winning a game 5 weeks ago? We were not, and now we're good enough to potentially challenge. I don't think we're quite there yet, Webby. I'm not going to lie.
And I was just thinking of the Gold Coast match last year, where I just came on that I was just trying to find my way just to keep happy, talk a load of rubbish into the camera. And here we are, just talk all that time later. Gold Coast away 2026. We only lost 9 points.
Yep.
9. And that's how far we come. And we can't get too ahead of ourselves yet. There's still going to be losing a lot more games. We're not going to make top 10. I can see us finishing 12th still, like to start the season. But we're coming a long way. I'm not trying not to get too ahead of myself. I'm not guaranteeing we're going to be winning the Premiership, but it's better. It's better.
It's definitely better. We just
what have you been thinking in the last 6 months anyway, Fiona?
I thought we were down and out. I thought we'd flatlined. I thought we were in big trouble 5 weeks ago, but it's true. Players say it in interviews all the time that it's never as bad as it seems. It's never as good as it seems, and that really is what has eventuated.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's all about how much the team's capable of something. I mean, a lot of the squad's just still young. I mean, they've come out of 30 academies and all that under 18 size. I mean, this is for a lot of them. This is their first full season. I think a lot of them seem to be trying. They're trying their guts out. I think that North Melbourne defeat and that Footscray Bulldogs first half seemed to change them.
Yeah, you're right. That we were we only lost that Kangaroos game by 12 points or 13 points, but it felt like an 80-point loss that game. Anybody else agree? This was only 9, like not that much more, maybe a goal. It was 1 goal more, but this felt like a win. How the optics and how different 2 losses can feel when they were really not that many points difference.
Well, it does feel like a win from what we've been through the last 12 months, exactly. But a loss is a loss. I mean, if I had that last week, we have had the highest amount of defeats. So at least we had that Melbourne game last week, and otherwise we have that unwanted statistic.
Yeah, and you know what? Another thing, chat, that we haven't spoken about so far tonight, and Webby, is that this game, even though we lost, that will still continue. That will be confidence that they will get from this game, that even though we did lose, they were still in it against quality opponent, really quality opponent, and they could have won it if not for one little moment or two. So that will continue. They'll be able to, again, bottle that confidence and take it into Anzac Day and know, because they came out and they played with confidence in the first quarter. We actually played a really good opening quarter. So that, I believe, is confidence and kind of intent and competitive fire. That's the part that feels bottled. So, yeah, I agree. Okay, Boomer. I think we're up for a right cracker on Anzac Day. I really do.
That's the point I was going to go on to next.
But not for the Pies.
Collingwood
for
next week.
You're right. I think the battle is going to be really, really good. When's the last time we went into Anzac Day where Essendon weren't so bad and Collingwood were so good that everybody was tipping Collingwood? There might be some who are going to think Essendon's a smoky.
Was that 2017 or 2023? 2023, we put in a bit of a good fight, but oh my God, I hate Collingwood more than I do Carlton. That's how much I hate them. Yes.
Really? Okay, I find
But
Carlton a bit more offensive.
Carlton's little bit more. Carlton's a bit more of a banter derby, isn't it? I mean, both sides are just scraping on the bottom of the table, for God's sake. Look, I mean, look at them.
Very good by you. The banter derby. Okay, righto.
It is a banter derby, but Carlton have got a little bit more edge because they've made finals more recently and they've won a couple of finals and made a prelim.
Yeah.
And they've won 6 of how many last many against us. The only win I think I had them against them in the last several years is 2023, and then after that they just went on this monstrous run, which was very annoying for a Bomber fan. Exactly.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
Only Carlton is just still watching. You're probably still getting flashbacks now, isn't he? To talk about that.
Yeah, I know. We certainly. I feel pretty confident. Well, I shouldn't say that right now because things can change. How quickly things have changed. Who knows when we come to round 13?
Please beat Collingwood. Please beat Collingwood, Essendon. If you're watching this if you're watching this video tonight, any of the players, please beat Collingwood and win this fucking game of football for us. We've seen exactly what you can do. Deliver next week, please. Love from Webby in England. Go Bombers.
All right, Webby, we love you. Take care. See how we go next week.
See you
next week. See you, Webby.
See you soon.
Some love from England, from Webby. We love it. You're right. Okay, Boomer. Later positions matter not, as Sheed once said. Yeah, but Essendon have been so bad that generally, and Collingwood have been so good in the last kind of handful of years that it's almost been an inevitability. And we always, it always is kind of a close-ish game, and we do put in a good showing for the game. But this year, I'm just speaking from myself, but personally, I don't feel like I've gone in this confident that we might actually win. And maybe that's got to do with where Collingwood are at too. Who knows? Hey, Noel, do you want to tell me what happened in the Hawks game? Did I see that we're actually close? What the hell?
Yeah, the Hawks got up in dying stages, 89 to 86. Port had a shot late with about a minute to go and they missed.
But how was it that close? How was it that close?
I don't know. Maybe I was sort of watching it scantily. I wasn't really paying that much attention. It's all on. Yeah, they only just scraped in. It looks like Power put up a pretty good show for a change, but yeah, it's weird.
That was at the MCG, I believe, wasn't it? So that was pretty impressive from.
It's weird that sides we play tend to play better after they play at us, or they play worse. I don't know. It seems weird, but Let's go through some of the comments. Dennis, you hate Hawks more. Okay, yep. Is Fiona going to Anzac Day? Fiona is going to Anzac Day. I would never miss Anzac Day. Zach Merritt, 257 games and 0 career hitouts. Well, that's understandable, I would say. Richard, how are you joining us? Was Edwards' concussion protocols at the end? I haven't heard a word confirmed, but he wasn't on the injury list, so I'm hoping. Did anybody who watched the Brad Scott press conference, did Journo ask him about it, and did he give an answer? Do they bring back Moore and DeGoey? Darcy Moore won't play, but DeGoey will return, I believe. DeGoey hasn't caused us too much problems, has he? It's mainly been Jamie Elliott.
Yeah. Jamie Elliott. Who's going to play on Jamie Elliott if McGrath's in the forward line? He's
the nightmare. And they've also got that other idiot from Port Adelaide that beat us.
Houston.
There's another one that caused us problems against when he played for Port. But they don't have much of a forward line. So
they don't.
So we can be competitive in that area. Ridley
it's just up the other end, like Jeremy Howe and Maynard. They're very good. They're still very, very, very good. And I don't know. The kid Anderson? He was very good.
Angry Anderson, yeah. Look, he looks good. But they've got this bloke called Pendlebury. Apparently, he can play quite good.
How are we forgetting Pendlebury and Sidebottom? Who's going to play?
Yes, I brought him with back. But yeah, penalties. Yeah, he's just a marvel, isn't he? Absolutely, and I loved his reaction to the young Carlton bloke who missed the goal. I thought
Yeah,
that was
really
lovely.
good. He was over to him quick, really quick.
Yeah, that it just shows you that there are gentlemen and nice people who play the game of footy. Occasionally, there are some decent blokes out there, and yeah, we've never got a bad word to say about penalty. Day cost is going to be a problem, but as someone said, we win every 4 years. It's like a leap year for us. We win Anzac Day every 4 years.
Moby, 05, 09, 13, 17, 21, we won Anzac Day. We were due last year, so overdue. Yeah,
So
well, that
overdue.
means, so we kind of bucked that analogy or that theory, I should
Although
say.
we were stiff in a couple of those Anzac Day losses.
We were, but we like, it's never conventional, isn't it? It's never a conventional loss. It's always dramatic or controversial, isn't it?
Yeah. Some bizarre situation where someone can kick 7 possessions down from the back line and score a goal in the dying seconds, things like that. But yeah, look,
they asked Brad Scott about Woosha, as in Andrew Welsh's tackle. How funny! And do you know what's funny about this chat is that moments. Was it after or before that happened? I think it was moments after that happened. I was talking to some mates who were talking to him at the restaurant that he obviously went back into after he'd done that and spoken to the police and ambulance and all that. After he'd done that, he and Tim Roberts went back to the restaurant or the bistro they were at. And like, this is the kind of guy he is, right? They were talking to him and a waitress walks past and she drops this is going to be dumb. Don't judge me for telling you this story, but she drops a cutlery or a fork on the ground and he leaves the conversation to go and pick it up. So after he's just gone and tackled, he's gone and run down tackled an offender, he's made a citizen's arrest, he's then come back and been a complete gentleman and had manners and polite and chivalry, and that's how I like my men. That's exactly how in the mould I like my men.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dying art now, sadly, isn't it? Not seeing as much of that as we used to. But yeah, but what's the story about Andrew Welch? There was something in the chat about some sort of arrest or police thing.
That's exactly what I was just talking about. Yeah. Did your brain just glitch?
Yeah, but I hadn't seen anything. I'd heard about it, but I didn't know much about it, other than
So there was a crash, and then I think the driver tried to flee the scene, and Andrew Welch was at the scene, and he chased him down, and maybe not chased him down, but he tackled him to the ground, and apparently it was quite scary, I'm told. So.
Oh, well, that's the kind of guy we want running our football club, isn't it? And he played the game pretty hard. He played the game tough. And I also give Andrew the fact that he's got time for us low lifes, the scumbag supporters. If he sees you, he'll have a chat. He's more than happy to have a chat.
Absolutely, he will. Absolutely.
And, I gave him plenty of shit at the VFL about how rich he is and how wealthy he is, and said, "Can you lend me a couple of bucks?" That kind of stuff. Had a few jokes with him about it, and he take it on the chin. He's great like that. But he was one of my favourite players back in the day. I always liked, blokes like Steve Carey and Andrew Welch and those sort of guys who were considered the lesser lights.
Yeah, absolutely. I was losing a bit of faith and trust early on, and that's on me. I wear that, but he has had a great couple of weeks, just like the club has had, and I think he has earned the right to be trusted. So until he puts a foot wrong or until he leads me astray, I will be on the path with him, and we'll see where we can go. And hopefully, we'll start with next week, Noel. But I reckon.
He's got the parish thing. Maybe it took him a couple of weeks to settle into the job and settle into the situation and find his footing, because he's a businessman and knows how to run business, but it just take a little bit of time to get himself
And
sort it
also,
out instead of-
yeah, you're right. You're right. It's a good call, Noel. And this is his first Presidente job, and he's had to, block out the outside noise and the beating of the drums outside the four walls and commit to the plan and, make the plan public despite the noise. And yeah.
Now we're going to do a Tim Tam Slam together on the next fan cam. I'm going to buy some Tim Tams.
So now I'm going to go out and buy Tim Tams.
You buy some Tim Tams and a cup of coffee, and we'll do a Tim Tam Slam. I had a friend in America. She worked in a cafe in the States, and I was telling her about the Tim Tam Slam, and she actually did a Tim Tam Slam in the cafe in the States, and a lady across the table wanted to know what she was doing, and she actually taught her as well, and now she's teaching her friends in Finland about the Tim Tam Slam. But
Wait, what's the Tim Tam? Oh, the Tim Tam Slam, I remember. Yeah, but can it be this? Because I still have Gaieties left over, so can I use Gaieties?
I guess it would work with Gaieties, but they're not the same as Tim Tams. I did watch your little thing. They're more. I think they're more like a Kit Kat than a Tim Tam, because they're very wafery, aren't they?
The wafer. I have to admit, I think I like the wafer. I think I like the Gaietie better than the Tim Tam. Yeah, because of the wafer.
There's an English. I think there's an English equivalent, similar one that I've seen. It's sort of similar to a Gaietie English one, but yeah. No, look.
All right, now
we had a good one. We look forward to next week. I'm going to try and sneak some port into the ground, as I promised the two ladies.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
I'm going to try and see. Hopefully, it's not going to be too hot a day. If it's a nice, coolish day, I can wear a nice, big, thick jacket with long pockets, and I can get a little bottle of port.
Don't they swipe you at the door? Doesn't pick up on.
I got into the game the other day without even checking my ticket.
Really?
Yeah. Because after the BFL game, I wanted to get a footy record. Halfway through, I went out and did the sign out thing. But when I came back in, no one swapped my ticket. I just walked straight back in again. So I don't know whether I'm counted as a twice or once.
Webby says they've started selling Tim Tams. They started selling Tim Tams in England.
Yeah, they have in the US as well.
Okay.
US had one company was doing them, but now Arnott's are doing them. Yeah, they're pretty expensive. I think they're actually cheaper in England than they are in Australia.
That wouldn't surprise me, because everything's expensive now in Australia, unfortunately. All right, Noel and chat, we might end it there, but thanks everyone for tuning in and for joining us for this fan cams. I'm glad it's in a
support the owner.
Hit the like button on your way out.
Yeah, press likey.
Thank you, Noel. Appreciate you.
Let's go. There's one thing we can do. It doesn't matter what happens first of the year. Beating Collingwood would be the highlight of the year. We can lose every other game of the season. Couldn't care less. Beating Collingwood is the ultimate. So let's hope we can do that.
Nailed it. Thank you, Noel. Take care. See you next week. Bye. All right, everyone. Let's go have some dinner. Anybody got anything good for dinner happening, or you had dinner? Yes. All right. Well, bring it on. Bring it on. Okay, Boomer. Can't believe I'm back from the dead, and I can confidently say bring it on, because 3 weeks ago that sounded ridiculous, because nobody was bringing anything from wearing the red and black, unfortunately, and neither I didn't feel like I was bringing anything, but I was holding space for everyone, so hopefully that did something. Thank you, Jade. Get back safe. Yes, selection headaches again. Lovely to have. Thank you, Moby. Thank you, TL, and thank you everyone else for your support. Joe, sorry I couldn't get the connection happening, but thank you, Chris. Thank you, Sunstripe. Adam, good to see you here. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, everybody, and you'll have your preview out Monday or Tuesday, and then as usual, maybe a few special things during the week. Don't quite know yet, but I'm sure there will be. It's a special week, so I will absolutely try and make the most of it. Take care, everyone. See you soon.